Here we go. Super 8, big time game, and we are on. Hey guys, how you going today on BKRsport? We're live as India will play host to South Africa in Ahmedabad, and what is a massive, massive game here of Group A in the Super 8. These are the two teams that are predicted to be progressing through this group. If it's not India to win this World Cup, a lot of people are saying South Africa can go and do it. Neither one of these teams have lost a game at this World Cup so far. By the end of tonight, we will see a team receive their first loss, man. So it's going to be absolutely massive. Now, interestingly enough, I was expecting a team that won the toss. They would actually choose to bowl first and then bat home strongly in the end. But South Africa have won the toss here, and they've elected to bat. So they obviously think this is a flat wicket, and they're just going to absolutely slap it around to get a really, really strong score on the table. Then hopefully they can limit India when they are chasing them down. But it's going to be an interesting matchup here. Let's go through these two team lineups. Obviously, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. We are going to be live for every game of the Super 8, plus the semi-finals and the final, before we obviously just get into a whole bunch of bilateral series when it comes to international cricket. So let's get into it. Now, the Indian team today, Abhishek Sharma, he's going to need to have a big game because he's been disappointing in this World Cup by a long margin. Ishan Kishan, he's the wicketkeeper. Tilak Varma, Surya Kumar Yadav, who is the captain. Hardik Pandya, Shivam Dube, Rinku Singh, Washington Sundar gets his first crack in the World Cup. Arshdeep Singh, Varun Chakravarthi, who is the #1 bowler in the world right now in the ICC rankings. And then you have Jasprit Bumrah. Then you go to South Africa. Their captain, Aiden Markram, is opening alongside Quinton de Kock, who is the wicketkeeper. Ryan Rickleton, David Brevis, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Marco Janssen, Corbin Bosch, Kangiso Rambada, Keshav Maharaj, and Lungi Ngidi. The only little slip up we've seen from both these teams so far is when South Africa took on Afghanistan. Arguably should have lost that game. Arguably should have lost it, but at the end of the day, they did come through in the end in the 2 super overs. It's just that Afghanistan really did choke in those last 3 balls of the second innings in the normal part of the match, and then obviously in the super overs, it just got absolutely wild, and we nearly saw a 3rd super over, which would have been absolutely ridiculous. But that was a game that South Africa had their closest slip up in. A great result against New Zealand earlier on. Whilst on the other side, India kind of only had a little bit of a slip up against the USA, where probably should have lost as well if it wasn't for a dropped catch of Surya Kumar Yadav on 15, and he ended up getting 84, and they ended up winning by 29 runs there. That was the only real slip up because they dominated Pakistan. They beat the Netherlands by 17 runs, which was a little bit of a scare as well. And then they also confidently beat Namibia, but there were times in that match that were looking a little bit worrying. They haven't been overall the most convincing team ever. They haven't looked like they're just 100% guaranteed nobody has a chance, which is what a lot of people were expecting. So South Africa will fancy themselves coming to this game, especially with this toss and especially with this bat. We do know that South Africa know how to bat. And what will be interesting for India is that if you go and have a look at the rankings for the batters, Abhishek Sharma in the world is ranked #1. But let's go and have a talk about how his tournament has gone so far. So against the Netherlands, in his last game, Abhishek Sharma got out for a duck from 3 balls. A duck in that game. Against Pakistan, Abhishek Sharma got out for a duck in that game too. That's back-to-back ducks for Abhishek Sharma so far. Go back to the game against Namibia. I don't believe he played in that game. He was not in that game. You go back to the game against against USA, and Abhishek Sharma got out for a duck. In 3 games that Sharma has played in this World Cup so far, he has not scored a single run. That is a crazy stat to say. It has been such an awful World Cup so far for Abhishek Sharma. So this is a very critical game for him. It is so crucial. It is so critical. Because again, he is ranked #1 in the world in T20I batting rankings, in the ICC rankings. But yet he's got 0 runs from 3 games, and he is an opener. This is not a game you can muck around in. He needs to be serious tonight. He needs to perform, because otherwise, big questions need to be asked of him. Now, when they did play South Africa in a warm-up match before this World Cup did start, there was, hold on one second, group stage, where is it? Okay, there's the warm-up match against South Africa. India did win by 30 runs, 240 for 6 through 20 overs is what they got. South Africa got 210 on the chase, so South Africa still hit them around. Obviously, India opened up, and this is probably what's played a big part in South Africa choosing to be the ones to set that pace, because 240 was absolutely ridiculous there. But in that game, Abhishek Sharma actually retired out with a 24, so at least he got more than a duck in that one. That was the last time he actually got some runs there. But overall, India, they were the ones to set the pace, and it was just near impossible for South Africa to chase that one down. But they did a really commendable job. That was in Navi Mumbai. That wasn't here at Ahmedabad, which is known as a really good batting surface and a really good chasing surface. So, no matter what, India will still be like, yeah, we can still come back from this. No matter what happens here. I would like to see what you guys think should be the par score here at. I want to say, what do you feel like the par score here is in Ahmedabad right now? Get into the chat. I'm just going to ask ChatGPT, what are the opening innings runs at Ahmedabad in the T20 World Cup 2026? I want to see what all the teams have got in the opening. So South Africa versus Canada. No, that's not all of them. South Africa, that's not all the games. South Africa versus Canada batted first and scored 213, but that's against Canada. India versus the Netherlands. India batted first and scored 193. So again, you are seeing those high scores. Actually, let's just go and see what is the average first innings score at Ahmedabad. All right, we're going to Google this. Narendra Modi Stadium. We've been on this website quite a bit throughout this tournament. There is 7 minutes to go until the game does start here, guys. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, get involved in the chat. I'm just trying to get this this average score up so that I have a good idea about what we should be expecting. But right now, I'm saying that if you're South Africa, you're probably going to have to set a score of like 210, dude. You probably are. You are going to have to get a high score. 193 against the Netherlands, 213 against Canada. There has been some other games here, however. There has been, because I know South Africa have played pretty much all their games here at Ahmedabad against Afghanistan. Let's go have a look, because that was New Zealand versus South Africa was also in Ahmedabad. Who opened? So New Zealand opened up with a 175, that's right, and South Africa chased them pretty quickly. With 17 balls left, they got 178, so it definitely means that they're looking for over 200 here. In the game that they played against Afghanistan, they were the ones who set out the 187, didn't they? Yeah, they did. They were the ones who opened up and got 187, but Afghanistan have got that good bowling unit. Overall, I'm going to say that South Africa must get 200 at minimum and 210 to really make this a big-time game, because we know that even if Abhishek Sharma does fail for India, Ishan Kishan can give it an absolute whack. Tilak Varma can, Suryakumar Yadav can, Hardik Pandya can, Shivam Dubey can, Renku Singh can, Washington Sundar, he knows how to hold a bat, and Arshdeep Singh can at least hold it. Overall, India are nowhere near done until the fat lady sings. So that's why you must score a good score of 200 here for mine, especially with the fact that they just do know how to bat. And their bowling's not going to make it easy for you. It's not going to make it easy, but I just think that if you want to be comfortable and you still have a chance of losing, but at least comfortable, 200 is always going to be a good score, right? So that's my personal opinion right now, but we'll see how it does. It does transgress. Obviously, thumbs up, subscribe. Let's get the chat, and let me know your thoughts in regards to today's game. Shatish just can't understand the South Africa's decision to bat first at Ahmedabad. I think it's because when they played them in the World Cup warm-up match before this tournament got underway, India bat first and got 240. South Africa bat second and got 210, which was still well off the pace there. So I feel like they just look at this and see it's a flat pitch. They've got plenty of opportunity to just bat them into oblivion and freak them out from the start and put some pressure. Maybe they believe that they need to set the pace so they can put the pressure on, and then India will collapse under the pressure, which is a very Indian thing to do. It is a very Indian thing to do. So I think that's probably their mindset right now. I don't think either option is bad. I just would have expected the team to choose to bat second. I just would have expected it. Seb Watson says, come on, South Africa. Spencer says, is this match of the tournament so far? It should be, considering that these two teams are the predicted teams of the final. I would say that, yes, it should be the game of the tournament. But obviously the game of the tournament overall at the moment has been South Africa versus Afghanistan. But on its notoriety level, this is definitely the one that we've all been waiting for, and it should go down to the wire. It should really be an absolute blast, and hopefully it's better than the previous game where Sri Lanka completely tanked it up against England and fell apart when the game was theirs to be won. They only needed to chase 147, but they just can't seem to chase that Sri Lanka team against England. It has been really rough for them in that department. But the national anthems are underway now. Mayank says India 48% on the poll. Yeah, well, it's not like it's a crazy decision to tip South Africa in this game, man. India are definitely the favourites, but at the end of the day, it's not a crazy decision to go with either option in this one. South Africa are a very good team. They know how to bat. They won the toss. They chose to bat first, and they want to, set the tone of the game and set the pace of the game. But no, it's not like a ridiculous suggestion that South Africa could win this game and that India are 48% on the poll. Duraz says, Abhishek all ducks this tournament. Surely today he gets a decent score. I'm expecting it. Surely this is the day that he does get it. But he's going to be nervous until he gets that one run. He'll be so nervous, man. Seb Watson says, how's England looking now, Shatij? We didn't nearly have enough on the board. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, that was a good win for the English. But the big ones are coming up in Pakistan on Wednesday and then New Zealand on Friday. But I did know that was coming, Seb. I did know that one was coming. Okay, the national anthems are done. And now we are getting underway. I want you guys to predict what South Africa set the pace at. I'm going to predict a 207. I'm going to say they get there, even though this India team do have some good bowling. I'm going to go hard, I'm going to go high, and I'm going to say this is going to be a rocking game. So a 207 will mean it's a solid, damn well chase for India, but they can absolutely do that too. A 207 probably send it to the final over for mine. Probably does. Krakenball says under 180. Well, I think South Africa lose then. So you're just straight up suggesting that India win then? Because I feel like the bowling for South Africa probably shouldn't get through this India team under 180 for mine. Seb Watson says he's going to be getting around England or Pakistan next game. That's a great question there, Chiz. Seb's asked you a question. Are you going to get around England or Pakistan in the next game? Mayank says today Sri Lanka play like they have to go to the dressing room or home fast. Yeah, they played really poorly today, Sri Lanka. They had that game won, man. They really did. But we can think that. They can't think that. And it's like they did think that. Sri Lanka just weren't good enough, and England deserved to be the winners, and they deserved the recommendations and the commendations for their performance. And I didn't think that the England bowling was absolutely stunning, but I think that it just put it into a good area where Sri Lanka just bit off more than they could chew, and a lot of the wickets were just really soft dismissals. But Sri Lanka choked under the pressure at home. Dark says South Africa has played 3 matches here in this tournament. Yes, they've played all 3 of their games in Ahmedabad. So they definitely know how to play here. Where is their next game? So the South Africans' next game. So tomorrow we do have the West Indies versus Zimbabwe. So the next game for South Africa against the West Indies is also in Ahmedabad. Wow, they just play every game here, don't they? India's next game will be in Chennai against Zimbabwe. And South Africa as well. Where's their game against Zimbabwe? Where do they play Zimbabwe? Where's South Africa versus Zimbabwe? Oh, there we go. Surely this is just going to be Ahmedabad. No, it's in Delhi. Okay, so they played Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi against Zimbabwe. That'll be their first time. They won't be here in Ahmedabad. Mag says, I need a good match between South Africa and India. We're all wanting it to be that way, man. We all want it to be that way. We all want a great one. Satish says, Sri Lanka bat poorly. Sri Lanka did bat poorly. With that being said, though, I give all the respect and credit to England for getting the dub. At the end of the day, if you win, you earn the win. Sri Lanka just don't deserve to go through if they can't chase 146 at home in a World Cup. Yeah, look, I think you've been being too harsh. But at the end of the day, I do feel like, yeah, Sri Lanka were very, very poor and should have won that game in a lot of ways. But okay, first bowl coming up from India to South Africa. What will they set as a target? I'm going a high 207 because I reckon that'll come down to the final over. That is going to go out the back for a single, so Markram is off the mark. Lily Angel says, hi everyone, let's go South Africa. Get around your Lily Angel. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good game here. Let me just put this scorecard and change it around. Seb says, but are you choosing England or Pakistan next game? Shatish, ask him. Shatish, answer him. Are you going to back in England or Pakistan in the next game? It's a valid question from Seb. It is a valid question. Arshdeep Singh is bowling. Not watching that game. Bullshit, Shatish. I know you're watching that game. I know you won't miss that for the world. Answer the man. Answer the man right now. Would you prefer Pakistan or England to win that game? You must choose. I demand it. Next bowling from Arshdeep Singh. And that will be a double. Double. Oh, I know you'll be here. He may not be in the comment section, but he'll definitely be. He'll be lurking. He will definitely be lurking. 184 was just a weird number, I realised, to use. Why is 184 a weird number to use over 185? Not choosing Pakistan even if Nepal is playing against them. Why do you have a problem with Nepal? Does India and Nepal have like a huge rivalry that we don't know about here in Australia? Why do you hate Nepal? What did Nepal ever do to you? Next bowl here. So you're basically saying, on a roundabout way here, Shatish, that you'd be going for England. My ex is Australia, Pakistan and England game rank. So 1-0, 1-0 for South Africa through the first 3 balls. Yeah, he's getting around England. Getting around them. So you getting around India in this game here today, Seb, or are you getting behind? 1-0 after 0.3. No fake bets. This is a good start here. Good start with these first 3 balls. And that is going to be another single. So 2-0 through 0.4. Wish I had any other option. Well, it's like, I would struggle so immensely thinking between India and England, eh? I really would. It'd be such a struggle, man. It would be struggling against my heart and my other part of my heart. Who I would go. And Seb says, gosh, no. He's definitely said, gosh. Gosh, no, come on, South Africa. The suffers for 0.4 balls down. I'm going for a draw. Well, you don't want South Africa to win it, Gary. Next ball, they'll get a single. We are underestimating Zimbabwe. Everyone does. They'll love it, mate. They'll love it because they've got a good bowling unit. Muzabarani. Ooh, blessing Muzabarani. What a man. What an absolute dominating man. And who else you got? Sikandar Raza. Fiery stuff. Fiery stuff. Ngarava. Ugh. Yeah, I'll slap it. Went all in for Sri Lanka today, mate. you bet all your money on Sri Lanka, did you? Well, I can understand the frustration then. So 3 runs from the first 5 balls. And the 5 ball, the over, he's gone for a big, no, that's too high, bro. You wish. They'll get a single out of it from buys, but elite buys. They'll get a single, but that's way too high. That is way too high. I don't even know why they half celebrated that. No, I don't underestimate Zimbabwe, mate. I called Zimbabwe. You ask we have a Zimbabwe fan who is a subscriber here, and you ask him. I was given respect to Zimbabwe before Australia even played them. You know, everyone rips into Australians and we get slapped down because of our successful history. You know, we're targeted and absolutely slaughtered by the cricketing community for our awful performance. But, you know, people keep talking about this Aussie arrogance. At the end of the day, the banter's there, but it's not like I ever said that Zimbabwe couldn't beat us and probably wouldn't beat us. You know, I did fancy Australia to still get the job done, but we've been calling out how shit the team selection was this entire tournament so far. We've been calling out our disappointment and what we were putting out there, and you know, I was saying that Zimbabwe could definitely beat us. I was saying that Zimbabwe could definitely beat us. I didn't know if they would, but I definitely said they could. I wasn't disrespecting them. I understand what Zimbabwe can bring, and then Brian Bennett's a good batter. Whoa, that's going to be maybe just the... Oh, only a single there. They didn't run hard enough to get the 2. Gary, so this group is the strongest, all unbeaten in Phase 1. Yeah, no, this is a good, strong group. It's a good, fun group, this one. South Africa, West Indies, India, and Zimbabwe. Could you imagine if Australia put in at least a better effort than what they did, and that Australia was in it? Australia, South Africa, India, and West Indies would have been just a wild group. And that's not to disrespect Zimbabwe. That's just saying, based off of name, imagine a group of South Africa, India, Australia, and West Indies. That is just phenomenal. Yeah, someone's first loss tonight, and then someone's first loss tomorrow as well, Serpent, between West Indies and... Oh, there'll be a dot ball here. This has been a really slow start for South Africa. They are nervous, which does lead into why have you decided to bat first? Why have you chosen to bat first right now? You had the choice to bowl. You decided to bat first. That's interesting. And you've started off really slow, and you know that with you batting first, you know you need 2-2-10. You know you do. You know you need 2-2-10. That's going to be hard edge down to the boundary for good fielding. And it'll only be a single as well. Hey, South Africa, can you give a shit about running? Because you should have gotten 2 runs from that. South Africa really need to fasten up. It's only 1 over, but can't put pressure on yourself versus India. Dude, I can't believe the running right now. You know, they're not even putting effort into getting the runs. They're watching the ball go to the boundary, but there's a fielder there, and then by the time they notice it's not going for a 4, it's already too late to go for the 2. So now you've only got 1. You thought you were going to get 4, and then you could have gotten 2, but instead you get 1 because you were too lazy to run. And you were too busy focusing on the ball going across. It's like when people driving past a crash on the highway. Like, oh, well, there we go. That should be a 4, and it will be. First boundary of the game for Quinton de Kock and South Africa. It is 10 runs from 1.4. Max, in this World Cup, associate teams perform well. Yeah, they've performed. A lot of them have. Oman didn't. There is definitely still some World Cup teams that really disappointed. Oman were just awful. Awful. And the UAE weren't great at all. But teams like the Netherlands... Oh, he's bowled him. De Kock is gone. Jasprit Bumrah has bowled him. And that is the first wicket of the game here. And South Africa, why did you choose to open the batting? You had the choice. You've looked nervous. Why would you choose to open the batting? 10 for 1 after 1.5. Satish says, come on, man, let's go. Look, it's a good bowl, but at the end of the day, you chose to bat. You need to set the foundation. You need to set the precedent. Why? Why? Does anyone disagree with what I'm saying here in my confusion and them choosing to bat first on a flat pitch where it's going to benefit the batting team either first or second, but at least you know what you're chasing? And I feel like South Africa, I understand probably their thought process that they gave up 240 runs to India in as the opening in that game in the groups of the World Cup warm-up matches, but I just think it's a brazen decision. Someone banned Bumrah. No, you're completely right. I feel India would have bowled first too. India would have bowled first. Ahmedabad is known. Ahmedabad is known as a chasing stadium. I've said all day today when someone's asked me about the cricket tonight, I've said whoever bats second probably goes on to win this game here today. And yet, the team who won the toss decided to bat first. Anyway, this is super early in the game. Like, South Africa can still turn on and get 200, 207 kind of deal like I was saying, but they've looked really shaky. Really shaky. Gary, so I agree with you, mate. I would have chased India and India. Need to put them under pressure. Well, what they're doing here and putting them under pressure is they want to just put the score and force them to chase and then the scoreboard pressure them out. I feel like that's what their idea was and their thought process was. And it's just come up completely against them. It's the complete opposite here. I don't think there's, oh my gosh, that was only a wicket. Now, who's the one with the pressure now? The pressure is now on South Africa. Yeah, it's a packed crowd, Joe. It's a packed crowd. It's obviously not 130,000 this year, which is the capacity, 135,000 or 132,000, but it's a good crowd. It's 200 par on this pitch. Should be, Serpent. It should be. If you look at the games that have been here so far, all the scores are between that 180 to 210, 213. South Africa got 213 versus Canada. India got 193 versus the Netherlands. South Africa got they chased easily down 175 against Afghanistan with a good like 14 balls left. Like it was a confident chase. They would have got past the 200 if it was their batting. That's going to be slaughtered to the boundary for a single. So Mark will get 4, and it'll be 11 for 1 through 2.1. So the games that have been in Ahmedabad, you're seeing those scores around that 180, 190, 200, 210. And that's why I was saying, well, Ahmedabad, they've played here all 3 times so far, South Africa. They should know how this pitch works. They should know how this pitch operates. Again, my question is, why did you choose to bat? Business Australia says, does anyone know why we hardly got any 50 over one-day matches in Australia this summer? Did we get any? We got 3 ODIs versus India. Are we talking about upcoming, or are you talking about previously, business? I can't remember. I honestly can't remember any from this recent summer. All I can think about was the Ashes. There are long queues outside. The ground will fill up. I mean, my friends there. Indian captains say they also bat first. Really? Surya Kumar Yadav said that they would have bat first? Why? Commentary here saying 80k. Now, yeah, you can clearly see that this is a packed out ground. It's not completely sold out, but you can see it's packed out. Try to get the tickets, and there were only 11,000 tickets available. That doesn't mean that they've sold 132,000 tickets here. All that means is that they've sold the allocation of how many tickets they've put up for sale. They obviously haven't put the entire ground for sale, if that's the case. So yeah, Business Australia, are you referring to the previous summer, or are you talking about the upcoming summer? I'm trying to figure it out. Andreas says, the running intent has been poor, as you said. Why bat first if you're not showing the aggression? Alright, so 12-1. Yeah, you need to show aggression here, especially against India. 2.3 overs down. It's not like India are bad bowlers. They're very good bowlers, but just throw it out there. Next bolt from Arshdeep, and that is going to be... He's gone. He is gone. That is a wicket of Aiden Markram. Why'd you bat first? Why'd you bat first? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Oh, okay. Mayank, yeah, you have to wait, mate. You have to wait. I didn't, luckily, get it spoiled for me, but Mayank, you have to wait for us to commentate it, because there are people here who can't watch the game that are using me as a commentator for the game. So please don't ruin what happens in the game before you hear me commentate, otherwise you will get the timeout. But Arshdeep Singh gets the wicket, and India well on top here. Why'd you bat? Why'd you bat? Told you under 180. Well, sure, Kraken, but I don't think that you can disagree with the intention behind why I was saying what I said. All the scores have been super high. All the scores here at Ahmedabad have been super high, but South Africa made the wrong decision at the jump. They've made the wrong decision at the jump. Should have just stayed at the hotel. Stupid captaincy. They made the wrong decision at the jump. Business Australia's previous summer, I saw no 50 overs at all, but Seven said we had 3 versus India. It's not many compared to the old days, though. No, absolutely. Obviously, they wanted to really heavily focus on the Ashes, right? We have a huge year next year. Like, we've got the Border Gavaskar Trophy in India for 5 tests in February of next year, after we finish up with the 4 tests at home in our summer series against New Zealand. We have South Africa in the middle part of this year as well in South Africa. This next year is going to be full on hectic, so I would have actually expected you to be right and there'd be more ODI and other formats in the previous summer, because our next year, inclusive of next June, July, which is the Ashes, we've got South Africa in a test series in South Africa. We've got New Zealand at home in a 4-game test series in Australia. We then travel to India for 5 games in the Border Gavaskar Trophy Test Series, and then we also travel to England a couple of months after that for a 5-game England Ashes series, right, in England. It's going to be hectic for this next year, so you would have expected more of those ODIs and T20s more so around here. So I understand your point. I couldn't even remember seeing Australia in an ODI in this recent summer series. The old days had no T20, hence more ODIs, yeah. But what T20 games did you really see from Australia besides the Pakistan series? You must have been to stream that South Africa Test series, but it will clash with the NRL. I don't think it does. South African time slot's awful. I don't think you're right. Oh, that's a big shot from Ryan Rickleton for a 6. They need that. Wow, they need that. 19 for 2, and it's 19 runs after 3 overs with the 2 wickets, but Ryan Rickleton smacks a 6. That's a huge shot. Kraken says the last India vs South Africa T20 series and India vs New Zealand series, whenever India bats first, they make a diabolical score. I get they try to play on it where they make a good score and put on pressure but failed. Trojan says chokers. Who's the chokers? Who's chokers? No, I'm keen to stream that Australia vs South Africa series, but I don't agree. I think South African time slot is at an awful time. Oh, South Africa chokers here. Well, they did choke in that last T20 World Cup against India. They did choke that one. So, Boomba. He comes in for a ball for his second over. He was 1 for 6 in his first over. David Brevis. He'll be on strike. First bowl of the over. And that will be a dot ball. Smith says, ODI day-nighters with a perfect length for a good drinking session. No, I love a good ODI. I love a good day-nighter there. Yeah, it's a good time on a Saturday day-nighter. Do you remember New Zealand vs South Africa 2015 ODI World Cup semi-final? Not really, Serpent. Again, I was at the World Cup final. I was living in Melbourne at the time. I was there for New Zealand vs Australia in that final. But no, I can't really remember specifically that World Cup semi-final between New Zealand and South Africa. Next bowl, but obviously I know who won it because I was at the final and one of those 2 teams weren't in it and one of them were. Oh, you definitely, yeah, the ODI day-nighters. Can someone please let us know what the plan is for this year? Like, do we have many ODIs this year at the end? I know we play a few T20s and ODIs kind of just before our summer starts up. But Australians only care about tests for the most part, right? So that's why you don't see the summer series. You don't see any ODIs or T20s and whatnot because we are so focused on those tests. Yeah, Dal Stein choked that day. Next bowl, that will be a dot ball. So South Africa dropped like 4 catches in that game. Poor things choked. Well, unfortunately for South Africa, they are quite well known for this. They did it in the recent T20 World Cup final, but also that's why it was so incredible to see them win that WTC. Even as an Australian, seeing them win that WTC final in England, it was the first time we've seen them not choke on the big stage. You know, it was the first time we really saw them not choke on the big stage, right? So that's why even as an Australian, you're just like, well, you know, kudos to you. We win everything, so you can definitely win something, and you earned that in England. That's another dot ball here. 20 for 2 through 3.4. Hi, South Africa. You need a minimum of 180 more. You need a minimum of 180 more in the next 16.2 overs. You need some sixes. We have Bangladesh this summer for a 2-test series. Perfect chance to experiment some players like Kellaway for opening. Yeah, that's great. Cameron Green, if he's even in that team with a sniff, or Smith, I swear, gosh, if we see Cooper Connolly, I'm okay with Cooper Connolly playing because I know he's still super young, right? It's not to the level of Cameron Green pissed off. But with Cooper Connolly, that's going to be a single on a misfield here for Rickleton, I think. Did he get a single? Did they go for the run there? I don't know if they did. Might be dot ball. I'm okay with Cooper Connolly playing because he is still super young and this has just been a horrific, and that's a whole different format. Cameron Green pissed me off. he's done me in deluxe at the moment. Don't like how it came at our expense though. Yeah, I agree, Saban, but at the end of the day, I respect success. As long as you do it fair and square, I respect success. And they did it fair and square. Next bolt. And that's up in the air, and he's gone. This is horrific, South Africa. This is horrific, South Africa. And Ryan Rickleton has gone on 7, and it's 20 for 3. A really great over there from Bumrah. A really great performance from Bumrah so far overall. Why did you bat, South Africa? Why did you choose to bat? You lost the game at the toss. You lost the game winning the toss. You lost the game winning the toss. Like, he's not in a position to do what he just did at all, and that's just a real horrid shot there, and this is a disaster. Yeah, it is a disastrous here, Lily. It's disastrous. South Lanka, Tadded says. I know it's early, but it's hard to really see South Africa winning this. It would take a gigantic miracle because this is a batting pitch. When you're 3 down in the power play, very few teams win. Well, ask Sri Lanka what their thoughts are on that, because they were about 6 down in the power play earlier today. I think they were about 5-6 players down in the power play. Oh, dude, what a disappointment from South Africa. I was really hoping this was going to be an awesome game. Now we need to see just an absolute miracle turnaround here for the Saffers. Now we just need to see something miracle turnaround. Someone needs a century now to make a game of this. Yeah, exactly right, Gary. Well, if you're looking for a century out of the guys that remain, you're really going to be looking towards Devil Previs or David Miller. You would have to be looking towards those guys. GR Swern says, thanks for the English commentary. Hope your channel gets more subscribers. Appreciate you, bro. No, we're going to be live for all the cricket for the Super 8s and for the semi-finals and final, and we're getting more consistent into cricket. We're actually ultimately an NRL channel where we do all the rugby league games in Australia. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to diversify and get some more sport in this channel, and that's why we've been pumping out the cricket lately, and we are super consistent with it. So even when the T20 World Cup finishes, we'll be doing some ODIs and tests and T20s of all the bigger teams around the world. Like, forgive me for not doing Oman versus Uganda in a T20 game somewhere in the world, right? I'm not going to be doing that. But ultimately, teams like Australia, West Indies, England, South Africa, New Zealand, Fiji, India, Pakistan. Wow, that's a good bowl there from Varun Chakravarthi. So yeah, you know, like I do this as well because I know that there are thousands of Hindi channels, right? Like there are thousands of Hindi and Urdu channels. Varun Chakravarthi here for his 4.3 for his third ball of the over, 1 and a dot ball, 21 for 3 right now for the Saffers. But next bolt, and that is going to go through for probably 2 runs here. Might go for 4. No, it will be stopped. You know what I will say is the most disappointing part of this game for... No, it's not the most disappointing, but it's a really disappointing aspect of South Africa right now. They're not running hard. They could have probably thought about 3 runs there. I don't know if they would have gone for it, but they didn't even get close to having a think about it because they're kind of just jogging in between the stumps right now. They're just jogging up and down the pitch. I want to see more enthusiasm. You're 23 for 3 right now, but this has been a complaint that I've had through the first 4.3. Why have you chosen to bat on a batting pitch that favours the chasing team? Oh, that's a good shot for a 4. Go for a 4. Outside edge. Bang. Savers. Good boundary for Miller, and it'll be 6 runs. You're not showing the aggression, so why did you choose to want to show the aggression? You made an aggressive choice, and I did back it. I disagreed with it, but I backed your intention behind it. But unfortunately, you just haven't proven the intention that you had behind it. Someone says, I can see Brevis get a 70 off 30. Well, you're going to need it, mate. You're going to need it. Next bolt here from Varun, and that is going to be up in the air, and that's going to be a 4 from David Miller. Well, put on a show here, David. That is a boundary, 4.5 overs down, and David Miller, 10 from 4, 31 for 3, 6.41 on the run rate. Dark King says, South Africa feels like they're running too slow. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. Next ball, last ball, the over. He'll open up on it. And, good fielding there to stop it from going for a 4. Might be a single. No, it'll be probably just a dot ball. 31 for 3 through 5. I have to watch him with subtitles on. Oh, can I commentate in Mongolian? Yeah, look, I'm a big Mongolian speaker. I can speak to you in Vietnamese. I can say Xin Xiao, Xin Xiao, Matwa. How about that? I can speak to you in Vietnamese. Matwa. That's what we're doing here. We'll do that. What do we do in Thai? Sawadee krap. Sawadee krap. Just waiting for the switch up in overs right now. There's one more over left of the power play. The Indians are powering through there in the stands though. They're having a good time. That's another one. We get a bit of namaste going. You know, look at me go, a bit of Hindi. I did actually learn some Hindi last year when I was in India, but I've completely forgotten it now. Okay, Arshdeep Singh will bowl, and it will be a single for Devil Previs. Maybe two, actually, if they're running hard enough. Another single. They're not running hard enough. Sepa says, do you think sort of Kumar Yadav being a good captain or just bowlers been carrying? I think he's been a great captain. What's been wrong with Surya Kumar Yadav? He literally saved them against the USA, man. He quite literally won them the game. Yes, the drop happened, and he should have been out on 15, but that didn't happen. It's not his fault. He quite literally won them the game against the USA. What's been the problem with his captaincy? GRS says 30 runs short so far. Recovery for South Africa needed in the next 5 overs. Look, they need to get 200 for mine. They need a 200. It's a batting pitch. They need 200 here, and they're only at 32 up to 5.2. Dude, it's looking short. But with that being said, man, we watched that England versus Sri Lanka game just then, and we all thought Sri Lanka were going to win that game. They were chasing 146. They needed 147, and it looked like a good pitch there, and Sri Lanka should have been able to get the job done, but England got them all out for under 100. So you never know with cricket. You got to see both teams bat, but India at home, well, us Australians, we know that you can do them in Ahmedabad. We do know that, but that's more an ODI. Overall, India at home should get the job done for anything less than 200, in my personal opinion. But 200 is still a very, very good score, don't get me wrong. That's going to be a 4. Don't touch the ball. Whoever that clown was, don't touch the ball before it hits the boundary. I hate this. It happens all the time over here. Don't touch the ball as a ball boy before the ball touches the boundary. Let it hit it first. I know it's going to hit the boundary regardless, but the ball guy right there should have let that ball hit the boundary. It's early, be patient. Absolutely, Michael, but you can understand the concerns and the criticism that is coming right now. They're 5.3 overs down. They've already lost 3 wickets, 3 big wickets early doors. I know that this game can change, and I know that people do need to be patient and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we were expecting a lot better from a aggressive selection at the toss. Blaze, a few people do that, and it's annoyed some fielders. It's annoying me. It annoys me. Like, why do you feel the need to put your hand into the field of play before it hits the boundary? I know it's going to be a 4 regardless. It's just like, just let it go to the boundary, man. I mean, it's early. This is a T20. It's warranted. It is warranted, Serpent, but things can change, like we saw in the England-Sri Lanka game. Like we see just in all sports. Next bowl, and that's going to be punched through for a 4. So David Miller's having a good little go at the moment. 4 wide and a 4. So that's 8, 9, 10 runs off the over so far with 2 more balls to go. Arshdeep Singh giving up a few 4s. 1,069 4s throughout the tournament so far. Shatij says, Kohli had his own methods and that aura to carry the team. Under Sky's captaincy, you can see every other decision is being made from outside. Okay, so are you suggesting that he's been a bad captain for you in India, or are you saying that he's just not captain and he is a face for captaincy? I think that's what you're saying. You're saying that Surya Kumar Yadav is a face for captaincy, but he's not actually captain. Next bowl, and that will go straight to the fielder for a dot ball. At least they've really upped it a bit now. It's still not great at 41 for 3, and you want to be looking usually at 50 runs at a minimum after 6 overs. But at least there's a little bit more rhythm here with David Miller at the moment. It technically probably should be 5 runs. I'd back it. I know they won't ever do that, but I'd back it. It's like when fans reach over to catch a baseball for it as a homer. Well, no, because then it depends. It depends if they will check to see if that's a homer or not though, and the fan will get kicked out regardless. Just ask Steve Bartman. That will be a dot ball from Archie Tinge to finish that off. So 4, 8, 9, 10 runs off of the over, and we will have a drinks break here, guys. So do me a favour, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Tomorrow we do have the West Indies taking on Zimbabwe. I'm looking forward to that game because I'd love to see Zimbabwe get up, but I also love the West Indies, so just fire up for both teams. Seven says, that's like saying if your team in NRL is playing shit and it's 12-0, you're not allowed to criticise it because it's in the 9th minute of the game. No, I don't think Michael is incorrect in saying it's early, be patient, as if, like, everyone's wrong to be criticising them. I think he's just saying, like, it's like when we're in the Ashes, and Jay, I bring this up with you all the time, right? And it was day 2 of the first game of the Ashes in Perth, and at lunch on day 2, England were well in the ascendancy, and everyone thought England was going to win the Ashes in the first game. We had all the Australians coming at me saying, buddy, we're done. Australia's old and too slow and not good enough, and forget Australia nowadays in Test cricket. We're just done and dusted. And I was fighting everyone off with a damn well stick. I was fighting off with a big Shamu stick, right? And Jay said in the chat, it's day 2. And it's 100% right. It was only day 2. The funniest thing is that Australia actually ended up winning the whole test on day 2 that day and killed it in that the third session of the day. But the point is that things change rapidly in cricket and just in sport in general. So it is still early and you do have to be patient. But if they lose 2 quick wickets, if they're down to 5 wickets for under 100 runs, then it's not too early. It's not be patient. But right this very second it still is because they've still got plenty of good batters. Maybe not plenty, but they've still got good batters here that can hold the line overall for South Africa. Shatish says, Kohli was constantly blamed for not scoring runs given he was getting older, and moreover, we have watched how Gumby reacted when Kohli scored back-to-back 100s against the Aussies. Gumby hardly clapped and praised him. There's a lot of politics in this sport, unfortunately, specifically in India, and I would assume in Pakistan and Bangladesh. And we've recently just seen it with Australia, which has been bullshit and criticised fairly by Australians. We've called it out. But there is a lot of politics in this sport. More politics than you see in a lot of other sports. A player can be the best in his position and not get selected. The player can be a guy of Virat Kohli's stature and still not be selected. Or be hated from within. Steve Smith's a prime example of this. Absolutely deserved every part of being in that Australian team. But because of politics, he didn't get in. I'm just saying you're allowed to criticise the current situation. I'm agreeing with you. At no point have I disagreed with you. I'm just providing the context behind. I don't think that he was wrong to say that. But also, I agree with what you're saying. So Washington Sundar, he'll get his next over, his first over. We've just gone past the power play. South Africa 41 for 3 with a run rate of 6.83. Bump it up, baby. You're going to need to really pump home this next 6 overs or so to get back in the ascendancy. Panthers fans probably had their heads hanging thinking what's wrong, went down 24-8 in that 23 grand final, but momentum is huge and Cleary changed the tunes. I know. I was in the Panthers section in the grand final. I was in the Panthers section with them. I was there. I was sitting right next to him, man. So 41 for 3, 6 overs down, and it will be Washington Sundar who will give up a 4. Good shot from Devil Brevis. Good shot, 45 for 3. My prediction is Miller goes bonkers. Well, you've already said that after he's looking really good at 18 for 10. But I back it. I hope so. I think both these guys will go well here. I think they understand the situation. They understand what they need to do. And both Devil Brevis and also David Miller are going to have a big time here and get South Africa back in with a chance at this game. Next bowl. Dot ball. Better length, that bowl. 3 down, 41 runs. Yeah, it's not been a great start here, Sean. Not been a great start. things just change fast in NRL. More now with momentum. Back then, 10 to 16 point leads were huge, and anything over 16, or yeah, back then, absolutely. 16 point leads were game over 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Even if you go back to 2018, 2019, I'd even argue the same still. That'll be a 46 for 3, sorry, 6.3. 46 for 3. No, it's just really disappointing when you see politics get so heavily involved in the internal dealings of how teams are selected. But it happens all the way from the youth levels, man. It's not like this is just a big time thing. This happens all the way from the youth levels. You see in under 16s, like a kid who is the son of a father that the coach doesn't really like, and he won't get a spot. There'll be a single here for Miller despite being the better player, but yet the son of another guy that's like the best mates with the coach, he'll get his spot. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's the politics that we're referring to. He might not be as good. He might not be as good as him, but because of the close relationship between the parents, you'll see the kid who's not as good get the spot over the kid that is really good, and that suffers and makes it hard for him long term, despite how good he may be. As a single here, 48 for 3. Despite how good he may be in comparison, you'll see this guy rise up and this guy will come down or stay stagnant. And that is the problem with Le Politique. So 48 for 3 through 6.5. I just think they need to plod along, actually, until the 10th over. Just plod along. Just move through it. You don't need to take too risky of a shot, but that's a great 4 from David Miller. That's a boundary. That is a boundary. Your opinions are as long as disclaimers. 52 for 3. They hit a footy bomb. South Africa gets the 50. And David Miller with a good boundary. This is a good pitch, man. It is a good batting pitch. How are they down 3? David Miller 23 from 12. David Brevis on 10 from 9. Seems like Brevis is playing that associate role right now where he's just sitting and letting Miller be that guy while he just moves the chains and keeps it rolling. Hardik Pandya will get his first bowl. It's for the 8th over. The Dark Fire says the perfect example is Shane Flanagan and his son Kyle always getting picked. It's a great example. It is. A lot of people would have said the same thing about Kevin Walters and Billy Walters until Billy Walters started proving himself. Lily Angel says, 100 agree, politics ruins sport at any level. Yeah, and like I said, it's obviously more noticeable when you get into this big time level, but it is all the way through. Adverse. Shatij said, Miller looking real good for a big innings, and then in brackets, I hope I jinx him. Adverse says, you can't say you hope you jinx him and expect it to work, mate. Shatij, why don't you just let us have a good game here? Why don't you not try and jinx the man and let us... You've already got 3 wickets. You're selfish, Shatij. You're selfish right now as an Indian. Why don't you try and win the game from an unimaginable, unattainable, 270? Why don't you say South Africa get 270? And then you should be good enough to chase that down, shouldn't you? At home, India, beautiful batting pitch. South Africa have already done it. You go and win a miraculous game. Why don't you just give us a go? Shatij, why don't you just give us a damn well go? Dark King says next 32 runs, 0 wickets. I back it. Yeah, I back it. They need no wickets before the 10th over. LeBron James' son can't play a lick and he's on the Lakers. Yeah, he's making a lot of money. Well, it's not that he can't play a lick, but he's not NBA quality level. He's not NBA quality. Next bowl. That will be a dot ball. She says, how did the jinx work? I'm not a professional at jinxing. Jinxing is when, for example, as a commentator or commentary in general, will say he's on 49 right now, the 50 is about to come. Well, you don't know the 50 is about to come. This next ball is potentially could be a wicket. So by assuming that the 50 is about to come, you then have jinxed him, is what like a common consensus would be in regards to the word jinx, right? But by you saying, I hope I jinx him, It's kind of like null and voiding the jinx because it's not a unknowing thing, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So next bowler from Pandya, and that will be a single for David Miller. He'll be on 24. And it happens with me all the time. It happens all the time. But again, I said this the other day. It's like you just have an innate sense where you're going to bring something up that needs to be spoken about. Commentary, myself, whoever. You bring something up that you know needs to be spoken about, but there's just like an innate sense where right after you say what you're going to say, there'll be a wicket. Or there'll be a six if you said the opposite. You know, it's just, there's always something big that comes right after your brain just tells you to say, like he's about to hit 50, or he's close to 50. Ian says Miller 100 loading. Why don't we just focus on getting South Africa back into the game before we start talking about 100? But that'd be massive. That would be massive. That's going to be a fine ball. They said it wasn't too high. Oh, gee whiz. That was pretty high. That was a pretty high ball, man. What do you expect? That's completely over the top of him. I don't know why. I'm surprised they called that a dot ball. But sure, you do you, Glenn Coco. So 7.04 in the run rate. At least they've pushed it into the sevens compared to the mid sixes that they were at one stage. That'll be a single. This will probably go down to exactly 7 now. 7.02. As long as you get through, if you can keep these guys to the 15th over, I'm saying 200 is actually still on the cards. If you can keep these guys through to the 15th over, that's still a long way away. Like, we're talking 7.5 overs. But if you can keep them through that 7.5 overs, I would still back in another 145 runs in the next 12.1 overs. I would do it. Does anyone think I'm crazy for thinking that? Because that is a long time that they stay in if that was to be the case. Single for David Miller. He'll be on 25. And that's not too many runs off that over. Just the 4 runs from Hardik Pandya. Just the 4 runs there. Praise these Savas Blaze. Praise them a lot. Shatij, you've got 3 wickets already, champion. For gosh sake, give the Savas a little bit of something. What you mean? Why do you need me to jinx the South Africans? India are going to get 1 million runs about that. We're going to see India win this so easily. There's no way India could ever lose this game, Satish. No chance. No way. Wow, it's the most guaranteed that ever did guarantee. I tell you what, Satish, it's just the most obvious win of all time. Do you like that one? Trojan says there is no Klassen. This team is weak. They struggled against Afghanistan. Okay, sure, but India should have lost to the USA. Would you say Afghanistan or USA are a better team? Okay, sure, but India still gave about 170 odd runs to Netherlands. Would you say that Afghanistan or Netherlands are a good team, a better team? Namibia at points, they made it difficult for themselves. India made it difficult for themselves, but obviously India still dominated the game. But at points of the game, Namibia put on a little bit of fight at times. Would you say that Namibia or Afghanistan are a better team? This can be turned around on India's level as well. You know, ultimately, that's a huge 6 from David Miller. Wow, he slaughtered that ball into the crowd. Woohoo! 31 runs for David Miller. Woohoo! That's a big shot. You know, if you're going to criticise South Africa and say that they haven't necessarily been up to standard, or you're going to say that South Africa aren't the same team that you would normally expect, well, the same thing has to go for India, who's at home, who is the ICC number 1 ranking, has the number 1 batter in the world on the ICC rankings, and has got a 0, a 0, and a 0 in his 3 innings so far in this World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So, India have not been as dominating as you would expect. But with that being said, they absolutely deserve to be number 1 in the rankings and the favourites to win the competition. She says there'll be no classmate as he is retired. It's T20, anything's possible. Anything is possible here, Lily. Anything is possible. Rodrigo says, hi guys, get around you, Rodrigo. Ben, I'm trying to get some sleep, but I can't. Ben, this could be a massive game here, mate. And these are the 2 teams that people predicted to be in the World Cup final. Now that the mighty Australians are absolutely toast because they can't select a team for the life of them. Cats. Absolute cats, those blokes. But it's alright. We might never lose a game ever again once we sort our shit out. And that will be a 4. Bang! David Brevis with the boundary. He'll be on 16. Prediction for the game tomorrow? Are we talking West Indies and Zimbabwe? Wow, that's an interesting game, man. That's a very interesting game. You know what? I reckon the favourites are obviously going to be West Indies. I think people have underrated Muzabarani, Sikandar Raza, Ngarava, Brian Bennett, the likes, right? People have underrated them. I'm going to back them in. I'm going to back in the Zimbabweans. I'm going to back in the Zims. Get into them. I'm firing them up. Oh, that's up in the air. That's up in the air. But that is going to be slap for a 6. Devil de Brevis again. And here comes that run rate. They've settled in. They've earned their right to hit. And you know who they're hitting right now? Varun Chakravarthi, the number 1 ranked bowler in the ICC right now for T20. He is getting slapped around like no tomorrow. A 6, a single, a 4, and a 6 at 6, 12, 16, 17 runs off of this over. And there's still one more ball to go here. And there's still one more ball to go here. Bang. If they get a 6 here, you're going to start dancing. A partnership of 53, by the way, through 30 balls. These guys knew the task at hand. That's a boom, 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 baby. That is a boom, boom, boom. Miller on 32, Brevis on 22. And final ball of the over coming up from Varun. Can he get out of it? Can he save himself with a dot ball here? He can. It will be a dot ball. So 73 for 3 through 9. It's not looking too bad. Now 8.11 on the run rate. It's not looking as bad as it was looking originally. And this is why it was being spoken about to be patient. This is why. What a shot from Brevis, though. What a shot. Yeah, Brevis has also started firing. Dark. They're both looking to goods at the moment. Still ultimately need about 127 more runs and 11 overs, though. Which isn't out of the equation, but you probably need a good 20 run overs in a lot of ways, or just another couple of those Varun Chakravarthi overs. Though India is still ahead in the game, I'm not getting positive vibes for this game. Shatish says, why? Why are you not getting positive vibes? There'll be a single here for Devil Brevis. Hardik Pandya will be the one bowling right now. Why are you not getting good vibes? I have a biology test tomorrow, guys. Watching the match right now. Yeah, priorities. Current run rate, they're at 161, but I feel like they'll get well above that. I still feel like... But again, they have to keep these two guys in the partnership. It must be. They must keep these two guys here. I know after this, they've still got a good batter in Tristan Stubbs. You know, I know Marco Janssen can bat and whatnot, but you don't want to risk getting past these guys. Next bowl from Hardik Pandya. And that's going to be a single, maybe 2. Look at the hard running here. Oh, well, they're not going to get it, but you know what? I still appreciate the hard running, South Africa. It's the first time I've seen the intention in this game so far from you. And that was some good running. You're only going to get the single, but you showed you cared about thinking about the 2, which you haven't done so far in this game. Schroden says South Africa's bowling is weak, question mark. It's not overall as good as India, but I don't know if I would say weak. If you're talking about weak bowling, overall it's more New Zealand than South Africa, but they're not too far apart in regards to the bowling overall. I wouldn't say South Africa is a T20 bowling nation. They're more of a test bowling nation. That's a dot ball here from Miller. Like if we go to the bowling rankings overall, Varun Chakravarthi from India is number 1. And then South Africa don't have anyone until Corbin Bosch at 24. And you've also got Marco Janssen at 27. Aside of that, you scroll down a whole heap to Keshav Maharaj at 48. And Conquisto Rambada at 64. But like I said, South Africa's bowling is more so designed for the longer formats rather than the T20 formats. Henrik Nortje is at 75. George Linde at 80. Obviously, a couple of these guys aren't playing. That'll be a single here for Miller. Maybe two. No, just a single. And Otniel Bartman, again, not playing. 85. That's South Africa. For India, in comparison, Varun Chakravarti, number 1. You go down to Axar Patel, 14. Jasprit Bumrah, number 15. And Arshdeep Singh in 16. I don't think Patel's playing here today. Axar Patel's not playing here today, is he? Let me just go make sure. Is Axar Patel here? No, he's not. Axar Patel isn't bowling today. He's not playing. So you've got Arshdeep Singh, you've got Jasprit Bumrah, and you've got Varun Chakravarti. So you've still got 3 guys in that top 15 at the very least, regardless. And then you've got Kuldeep Yadav not bowling today, not here. Ravi Bishnoi, 39, not here. Hardik Pandya, 46, he's here. And that's it for India. No, Washington Sundar, who's here, he's at 86. But they're just mixing it up. This is his first game in the tournament, I believe. 76 for 3 through 9.5. So weak's a rough and a harsh word. Weak is a harsh word. I just don't think that bowling in T20 is their format. They've got better... Like, for example, Kangisa Rambada is not unbelievable in T20 bowling, but he's unbelievable when it comes to test bowling. That'll be a single. 10 overs down at 77 for 3. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. We're live all the time for some cricket and a bit of rugby league as well. But South Africa is just trying to fight their way back into this game after an incredibly rough start. Trojan says they lack proper spin. Yeah, that would probably be their downfall. Sean says, will Sample help somehow? Ben says, I wish you luck in your test tomorrow. Somehow this match will help. It will. It will for sure. But 10 overs to go. Usually what I do is I double the 10 over score. It's a free hit. Oh, they got a free hit. Oh, they got a free hit here off that one. So they have to come back, and Hardik Pandya needs one more bowl to get to the 10th over. Let's get past the 10th over. Free hit coming up for David Miller. They were in the ads. David Miller, here we go with a 6. That's up in the air. That's absolutely crash for a 6 on the free hit. And they needed that there, South Africa. Devil Brevis. It was David Miller with the 6, and they're on 84 for 3 now after 10 overs. That free hit was brutal to give up. Magnificent 6, that. Smacked. So what I do normally is I take the 10 over score, I double it, and add 20 to 30 onto it. So right now, what are they? 84, is it? They are currently on... I might be 82. No, it is 84. This is a little bit behind in regards to the score over here. They are on 84 for 3. So 84 times 2 is 160, 168, add 20, 30. So it's 188, 198 right now. So they'd be okay with that considering the start. I still pump them up a little bit more. I could still see them getting to the 200. These guys just need to stay at the 15th over, like I said. They do. But you must give these guys credit for pulling them out of the dumps of where they were. Yeah, 200 is on the cards, and really gets 80 plus. Mr. says, well, don't jinx it, but 200 is still on the cards. Like I said, if you do the math that I usually do, you double the half time of the 10 overs. That's 168. Then you add 20 to 30 on for the final 5. So that's 188, 198. That's still absolutely on. Inside edge, and they won't get a run there. It's Shivam Dubey who is bowling for India. GRS says, India seem to have a mental edge over South Africa, but if South Africa can find a way to win this one, then it's fair to say South Africa can go all the way. Well, these are the two teams everyone's talking about. Like, I really do feel like, and I know South Africans might disagree with me here, but do, spare me for a little bit here. I'm just providing you my opinion. I feel like New Zealand and South Africa are very much on the same level. I think they're kind of the same team in a lot of ways, where the batting is unbelievable for the most part. The bowling needs its work overall. And if New Zealand and South Africa play each other again, I actually don't know who I would tip, despite the fact that South Africa won so convincingly in that previous matchup in the group stage. I wouldn't know who to tip, because New Zealand could bat them into oblivion. South Africa could bat them into oblivion. The bowling from both sides isn't exactly exceptional. So these are two of the teams that are predicted to get there, but I also could see New Zealand doing it. But if India lose this game into South Africa, I feel like it opens up the whole competition for everyone. I don't feel like it's just a South Africa are now going to guaranteed win. That's a wide from India, a wide from Dubai, so 85 for 3. If India lose this, it sends a message to New Zealand, to England, to Pakistan, to South Africa. If you want to throw in the other teams, you can, but I'm not convinced in Sri Lanka after today and the Zimbabwe game previously. But it sends a message to them that the comp is up for grabs. It would send a complete message to them. If India wins this, but unconvincing, I still feel like it gives a lot of confidence to other teams. Oh, goes over the fielder. It's going to be 2 runs there. Good running from Brevis. He'll get to 26. It'll send a message that it's doable, but India still won a close matchup. If India break this away, I don't see anybody else winning. If they win this game by a mozza, like a lot, I would say that India win this tournament with ease. No one is beating India. Well, Night Eyes, USA should have. USA should have. Because of that drop catch. So that's why I feel like there is a chance. But that is a 4 there for Devil Brevis. He'll get to 30. 91 for 3. That run rate, remember when that was at 6.74 or whatever it was? Well, now that run rate is up to 8.53. It is just slowly creeping up. It's slowly creeping up, and South Africa are working their way back into the game. It's interesting that you say no one is beating India. Why do you think nobody is beating India, Night Eyes? Like, what would be your reasoning behind it besides that India are on the number 1 of the ICC rankings? What would be, and again, I'm not having a crack at you, I'm just asking you a question. What would be your reasoning behind why India cannot lose and nobody is beating them? That's another wide here from Dubai. So 6, 7, 8 runs off the over. Netherlands nearly beat India. No, I wouldn't go as far to say nearly beat India, but they put in a good show against India. They gave it a good crack against India. Spencer says if India lose, they're in do or die and they are known to crumble under the pressure. That is 100% correct. They're quite lucky that it's West Indies and Zimbabwe. I don't think, with all due respect to West Indies and Zimbabwe, oh, that is going to be absolutely punch for a 6 from Devil Brevis. Woo-hoo-hoo. Wow, 10, 12, 14 runs off the over. And now 6.74 or whatever it was, 9.05. It's moving and it's grooving. It's moving and it's grooving. Sadie Thing says India is also a choker, just like South Africa. We lost many opportunities. 2016, 2023, 100%. Man, I say this all the time. I say this all the time. You put the pressure on India. There's so many people relying on the result that how can they not have far more pressure than any other country? That would have been a wide, but a full toss is going to be punch the boundary just for a single here. It's going to be 99. 99 for 3, so what? 6, 10. It was about 16, 17 run over. Nino says they're just the most all-rounded team. I won't disagree with you that they are the most all-rounded team. Yeah, no, it's all right, mate. Just give my opinion to Ben. Yeah, Ben, he's just giving his opinion. There's nothing wrong with it. But I don't disagree with your take that they're the most all-rounded team. Do you feel like India are the most explosive batting team? So Varun Chakravarthi will come back on. He's got 28 runs, no wickets through 2 overs. That's very expensive for him. I ask you this one question. Are India the most explosive batting team in the world? No, it is. Because my answer would be explosive-wise, I'd probably say it's actually New Zealand. And if I then asked in regards to bowling, I'd say overall, I do really like the Pakistani bowlers, but you're probably going to say that the Indian bowlers are the most explosive still. That Pakistan aren't too far behind. So while I agree with you in regards to the all well-rounded, you could make an argument for South Africa being the best batting, in regards to explosiveness. You could make an argument for New Zealand. They hit the 100, by the way. It's 100 for 3 through 11.1. You could argue South Africa. You could argue New Zealand. Could you argue anybody else, really? Don't even talk to me, England, if you want to put yourself in this conversation. You wish. But then in regards to bowling, it's between probably India and Pakistan. Which team is the most consistent batting-wise? Most consistent, little Angel? Probably Kiwis. Probably the Kiwis. That's a wide. That's a wide from Varun. He seems a little bit rattled here, Varun. He does. He seems a little bit rattled. 101 for 3 for 11.1. They're on target for 200. Most consistent batting team you would have to say is probably New Zealand. But again, their bowling lets them down. Oh, it's a good shot from Miller. He'll be on 44. This looks like the score can go 210, 220. Dark King says, well, I said 207 before the innings started, and then I doubted myself. 3 overs in for sure. But this is a good batting pitch. It is a good batting pitch. It didn't look like it at first, but that was just South Africa being a bit wild and loosey-goosey. And now they're not looking loosey-goosey. They're pumping along. And now we're hopefully going to get the game we were promised in regards to a quality matchup that goes down to the wire. But South Africa must get 200 to make this a good game. It must. Swung on. Will be a single for David Miller. He'll be on 45. 106 for 3 through 11.3. Would anyone disagree with me saying New Zealand are probably the most consistent team overall batting-wise as a collective unit? Because I can't go India. I don't think they're a consistent collective batting unit. But they can go massive, and they can also struggle. No, this is probably, yeah. And South Africa aren't far behind. Oh, did he nick that? It's going to be dropped by the keeper there. Did I hear a nick just then? Surely not. Surely not. I heard something. I don't know if it was. No, definitely not. No, I must have just heard it when it hit him on the side, when it hit the keeper on his oblique. Okay, Ben, you don't need to keep telling us that you're struggling to go to sleep, bro. We're currently watching the cricket, man. We don't need to know about your sleep schedule and how much you're struggling to go to sleep every 2 comments. They will smack that to the boundary, but it will not go over it. It'll just be a single here for David Miller. 46 he is, and Brevis is on 38. I agree. Study thing says, yeah. Okay, so then... Oh, but Indians are going to say India. But again, I probably agree with you. No, the most consistent bowling team would have to be India, but explosiveness and ability, potential ability, you would say Pakistan are very close, if not there as well. Next bowl, that's a wide. Did he touch that? No, it is a wide. Varun has been really shaky today, man. This has been really un-Varun Chakravarti-like. 2.5 overs down, 37 runs given up. 1 wide, 4, 1, 1 by, 1 wide. So that's 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 runs off the over. This is very un-Varun Chakravarti-like. Yeah, he's struggling today, Night Eyes. Oh, is that a wide? Oh, it's another wide. It's another wide here for Varun. It's 1 for 3. What's happening? It's not a spin-friendly pitch. No, it's a batting pitch. Shut up, Smitster. I can understand why that comment's been removed. Aryan says, India is losing today because of Gumby. We lost the test series, sack Gumby. As Michael said before, patience. 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 This is looking like a very good game. Very good game. Jay says, 42 watching, hit that like button. It's free all stream. It is free all stream. I can actually tell you that for a fact. It is free to hit the thumbs up button. But 12 overs down, 9.25 in that run rate. 6.74, now 9.25. Get above 200. Yeah, Varun getting the proper hammering today. What's he giving up now? 38 or 39 runs? Well, it's very much like when Abraham Ahmed was bowling against India. And he's a cocky bastard, that guy. He's cocky, man. He's a good bowler. I love him. Like, I love him in regards to his bowling, but I hate him in regards to the arrogance and the cockiness that you do see from Abraham Ahmed of Pakistan. But it was nice to see him get a little bit of a touch-up from India overall. Just bring him back down on the ego level a bit. Bring him back down a little bit. Night I said I don't want India to win any games, by the way. No, again, I understand you've got an opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, man. I'm just debating you on the opinion. That's what this whole channel's for. So, Dubé, his next bowl, and that is going to be absolutely smack for a 6. I held off on that because it was just over the boundary. I held off on that. I waited, and I waited, because I knew that it just looked like it was slowing down a tad, and it may not go for a 6, but it just goes over the fielder there, and it will be a smoky 6 for David Brevis. Shatij has call a wicket, mate. I will call a 6. How about that? I will call a 6. Well, if I call a wicket, then there's not going to be a wicket, because it would be the opposite of that. Next bowl. And that is going to be mistimed on that one. Shatij can get timed out. He's definitely spoiled that one. Shatij can get timed out, Jay. Oh, Shatij, you should know better than that, bro. You should know better than that. That is Brevis gone on 45. He is caught out. Yeah, that's an annoying one there, Shatij. I know you knew exactly what you were doing there. 117 for 4, 12.2 overs gone, 9.49 on the run rate. But that is a big wicket of Devil Brevis there. I get you're excited and I get you having a good time here, Shatij, but please have respect for the people here, because I know that you've dropped that. I know I'm a little bit behind in regards to the stream. I know what you've done there in the chat. So that is definitely time out. But that is a catch for India. That is a catch for India. And Devil Brevis, just before he could get to that feedy bomb, is gone on 45. Shatij, weren't you literally just before saying that someone's been around long enough to know? And now you're the one spoiling it. Rodriguez says Miller is releasing all the pain with these shots. That happened after the T20 World Cup 2024 final. Yeah, that was a rough one, man. But either way, India needed a wicket, man. Yeah, the match is definitely on now, Michael. It's interesting. South Africa have really brought themselves back into it. David Brevis and David Miller have been fantastic, and you need to see Tristan Stubbs still perform here for sure. You do. You need to see Tristan Stubbs get a good bit going, but 117 for 4 through 12.2, you are happy with it from a South African standpoint. I'm going to refresh this browser source for the score of the score down here, because I think that is super slow. Yeah, it is super slow. That's not me. That's Cricket Australia. It's not me. Says, come on, Shatij, I'm not angry, just disappointed. So 117 for 4 through 12.2. Dubé gets a wicket. He's been really expensive so far, though. 21 runs in 1.2, but at least he gets the wicket. And then they'll get a single here from Tristan Stubbs. He'll get off the mark. GRS says, recovery done. Now it's time to push for 200 plus. Good partnership, though. Foundation said exactly right. It's exactly what they needed. David Miller needs to be the guy, though. He still needs to just... Oh, it's a no ball. Oh, it's a no ball. Miller's going to get a chance. Well, I can say this now because... Oh, no. Who's batting? Yeah, it is Miller. I can say this because he's not getting out on this. He has a chance to get a feedy bomb right now. He's 4 away. If he hits a boundary... he gets it. I can say it because I know he's not getting out. I know he's not getting out. Hands up. I'm not jinxing anything. You can't commentators curse me. Don't you give me this nonsense commentators curse. He can't get out. It's a free hit. And I just want to see him hit a boundary so that I can relax after saying what I've just said. And that is going to be absolutely smashed for a 6. And it's a foodie bomb, foodie bomb, foodie bomb. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Foodie bomb, foodie bomb, foodie bomb. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Foodie bomb for David Miller. What a performance. No, Michael. No, I know. That's why I said I really wanted him to just get it, but he got it. He got a Fitty Bomb. If you are a member of the channel, drop the Fitty Bomb gif. Shatij can't even drop the Fitty Bomb gif because he was a Muppet before. Sean says, you can say everything you want. We're the wankers that can't. What are you even saying? I don't even know what you just said. Boom, Fitty. Exactly right, Seb. And that is going to be a single for David Miller. You'll get to 53. I don't even know what you just said, Shauna. Can't spoil a spoiler. What's his Airbnb address? I'm disappointed though for Devil Brevis. Jinx, fair enough. Smith with the Fetty Bomb gift. There we go. Shatish, yeah. He always wanted to drop that Fetty Bomb gift. But it's his own fault. It's his own fault he can't drop it. A 9.95 on the run rate, man. Wow, this has been impressive from South Africa to turn this game around from where it was. It's been impressive. Miller 53 from 27, Stubbs 1 from 1. Score predictor has him at 193 right now. I'd be backing him in for 2. Should be a single. 127 for 4. Rodriguez and Sheffield Wednesday have been relegated from the championship today, making it the earliest relegation ever in championship history. Yikes. All I know is go Tottenham tonight. That's all I know, mate. Damn, that's really quick. The season doesn't finish for 3 months. How is that even possible? How is that even possible that they're already done? Are you serious? And that is going to be just a single here for David Millie. He'll get to 54. 6, 12, 17 runs in the over with a wicket. Dubé, 32 runs and 2 overs with that 1 wicket. At least he got the wicket. Yeah, very expensive 2 overs, Seb. Not even just the 1. He's averaging on the economy about 16 right now. 15, 16. Wednesday have won 1 game all season so far in 33 games. That is insane. That is insane. Wow, Leicester might get relegated too. That's wild to think that Leicester won the Premier League just a couple of years, well, not a couple of years ago, 10 years ago now. Feels like a couple of years ago, but 10 years ago now, and might be in League One next year. Except once they had a lot of points deducted for finances. Okay. But they've only won 1 game anyway. Dark says, South Africa already near 10 run rate, so easy, 200 is expected. Well, let's relax on so easy. Let's relax on so easy, man. I believe they'll get to 72 runs. With that being said, so easy is probably a bit of a debatable call. And next ball will be a single for David Millie. He'll be on 55. They just lost a wicket. They did, but I still feel like they'll get the 2. But it's funny how everything's changed now, hasn't it? Yeah, easy 200. I don't know about that. I'm confident 200, but I wouldn't use the word easy. It's just funny how quiet it really does get. It gets so quiet in India and Sri Lanka today too, but really pin drop quiet at Ahmedabad and in India when they do find a bit of a struggle period. That will be a single for Tristan Stubbs. He'll be on 3, 130 for 4. Seb says, if we are making an easy prediction, easy 225 against these shitters. Oh, jeez. Settle down. You had a great joke set up there. Seb, you could have easily said what the 150 reference from that England versus Sri Lanka game there. That was set up a beauty to say that 150 or something isn't defendable. Or something along those lines. Miller's got a bit of Cooper Connolly to his game. Don't start, Smithster. Please don't start me off on Cooper Connolly. I'm begging you, Smithster. Please, come on, man. You know I'm mentally not ready to have this conversation again about Cooper Connolly with you. You know I'm not ready. You know I'm not mentally stable to have a conversation about Cooper Connolly in that Australian cricket team. I can't do it. I refuse to do it. I'm not having this conversation with you again. I'm fragile. I'm a fragile man. When it comes to this Australian T20 team, I'm a fragile man. Another single here for Stubbs. He'll get to 4. India will be very happy with the 4 singles at this point in the match. They're still underneath the 10. They've bumped up from the 6.74 or whatever to the 9.66. They've bumped up those 4 runs. But they're still just under the 10. However, They're close enough to the 15 overs now. They did lose a wicket, but they're close enough to the 15 overs now. They'll open up once the 16th comes down, though. What a performance from David Miller. Don't forget, tomorrow night, guys, West Indies versus Zimbabwe. Who does everyone think wins that game? Who do you think? Do you think the West Indies get it, or are you backing the underdog Zimbabwe? I actually did put out some Zimbabwe merchandise. I made that last night on Redbubble. You can check it out in the description. I actually really like the Zimbabwe merch I made. We could have declared 100 and still won. Declared. Stop it. Has there ever been a team in T20 who's declared, you reckon? In some format of the like some level of the game, not in T20I or in like a domestic league, but I'm talking about like a lower level like pub league. Do you reckon there's ever been a T20 team who have declared? Surely if you get to like 400 with 2 overs to go, you're just like, good luck, mate. We're going to declare, we'll send you in. Paddy Cummins would never declare ever, though. He's never declared in his life. That's the end of the over. Keep it, Conley. Get that name out of the chat right now, please. Please. Well, the Aussies did shake hands early a few weeks ago. That is true, Jay, but they didn't declare per se because they lost the game. You're talking about the game against Pakistan in the first game, and where they didn't send out Adam Zampa. That was so annoying. It's like they said that Zampa had a groin injury, and that's why he didn't come out, and it was so nonsense, man. By the way, it's a drinks break. That's why there's a break right now. But yeah, they didn't send Adam Zampa out because they said he had a groin injury, and yet he's completely fine with the World Cup. And what did he play the third game in that series too? I think he might have. I think he probably did. So look, at the end of these 14 overs, I do think that South Africa is in the advantage right now. At 4 for 132. They've only lost 1 wicket in like 10 overs. Zampa probably plays golf with Usman. Come on, man. Kawaja. It actually, lucky Australia won the Ashes. If we didn't win the Ashes, it would have been just such a nightmare. Not just because of the Ashes, but such a nightmare period for Australia. Because we've had the Usman Khawaja dribble insult against Australia, insulting our country. You know, we've had this Pakistan series prior to this T20 World Cup. We've had the T20 World Cup right now. If we had have lost that Ashes series, I think I would have been done with my YouTube channel. I think it would have been over. I think it would have been done because I couldn't deal with Chris Hendry and Taddart and Seb Watson and Jacko. I couldn't put up with it. I couldn't cop it. So 134 for 4 through 14 overs, and Hardik Pandya will come for his third over. He's got 15 runs, not got a wicket yet through the 2 overs, so his economy is at 7.5. Run rate at 9.57. You definitely want to get that up to the 200. To the 10 runs and over, sorry. But right now they are, I would back them in for it, 100%. We're still waiting. This is a long drinks break at the moment. So a long drinks break. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. Seb Watson says, why not? That used to be the best when there was a run around the second wicket over, trying to work who was in or out. We'll defend you from Jacko and Hendry, Ben. Not if we lost the Ashes. You wouldn't have been able to do it. If we had lost the Ashes, it would have been all over. It would have, we could have had the whole of Australia, but we just wouldn't have been able to fight that off. So now we're into the accelerate overs, the 15 through 17. It's 134 for 4. Hardik Pandya will get done over for a single. Tristan Stubbs will get to 6. And it's good because we get David Miller on strike, and that's who you want to see on strike right now. Washington Sundar really brought this game back in for India. Once it was starting to break away for South Africa, Washington Sundar restricted them to 6. When they were dead set giving up like 14 runs and over. At least he brought it back to 6. So 9.53 on the run rate, 135 for 4. They still will wait to open up at the 16th over. There's still probably a good 11 balls before you see them try to pick off some big shots. Oh, it's a beautiful little nick in behind from David Miller for a 4. He'll be on 61. That is a really, really beautiful shot there. That is a really beautiful shot. 14.2 overs down. And he's just nicked that in between, right in the perfect spot. It will be a boundary. Again, though, they're not looking for these huge, big, risky shots at the moment. They're just looking to get through. And if they can get to 16 overs if they can, in the next 1.4 overs, get another 21 runs, they will be flying. They'll be flying. And that's going to be just the 2? No, it'll be single. 140 for 4. South Africa going well. South Africa going fantastic at the moment, Ben. This is 100% going down to the final over. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000% going down to the final over. 62 off of 33 balls. Very thankful for David Miller. So Hardik Pandya's given up 6 runs so far in the over. Oh, and of course they're going to bring up Pathum Nissanka against Australia. I won't talk about today, but good fielding there from Pandya. He stops that one from going back just for single, but at least he stopped a run. They're definitely on for 200. 60 runs in 5.2 overs. You've got to back him in for a 200. 1,000,000%. .55 in the run rate. Next bowl from Hardik. Swing. And that will go to... No, good fielding there to stop it from going for a boundary. Will be a 2. It was a good shot, but good fielding there to prevent it. 8 runs off of the over now. Bumrah's still got, what, 2 more overs left? Bumrah cleaned up early on. Stubbs doesn't have all day to get his eye in. No, realistically, right now, it's mainly the David Miller show, and Stubbs is just kind of keeping that consistency alongside him. And that's going to be a single. You're going to hate that, though, South Africa. No, they are going to get 2. You're going to love that, South Africa, because it means that David Miller will come back on strike for the next over. Yeah, Hardik Pandya's complaining about the fielding there. That should have only been a single, and they were planning to go for a single, but then you saw them look up. You saw Tristan Stubbs look up and see that the India fielder wasn't anywhere near focused enough to get that ball in quick enough, and that's why they took the 2. So now David Miller will come back on strike. Bumrah has 2. Okay, yeah, so they've still got 2 overs there for him. He'll come in and he'll probably pick up a couple of wickets. Obviously, this is shaping up nicely for him. But you probably want to leave him for those final 3 overs where he gets over 18 and over 20. Damn, look at that crowd. They're really getting into it. Really getting into it. Okay, Varun, he's been expensive. They've been expensive with the spin of Varun Chakravarti. And I think this is a bit of a benefit here to South Africa today because the spin has been pretty expensive for India, whilst the pace bowling has been very dangerous for India. Now, if you look at South Africa's bowling lineup, a bit of Marco Jansen, a little bit of Kangisa Rambada, a little bit of Lungi Ngidi, they've got plenty of pace here that can tear through India. Oh, that is straight down the hay diddle diddle from Tristan Stubbs. It's a 6. And Varun Chakravarti is just continuously giving up runs, man. Run after run after run. Run after run after run. Huge shot there. Varun has been so expensive, man. Okay, third ball of the over coming up. And that will be a single. So thing says Wiki. Yeah, you'd want to hope not, mate. We'll time you out for longer if there isn't this next ball. Yeah, you'd want to hope not. So funny, Jay. That's a good one. You'd want to hope not. You'd want to hope this next ball isn't. David Miller on 63, and that is going to be hit up in the air, and that is going to be a wicket. See you later, study things. Wicket for David Miller. Wicket for David Miller. We'll see you in the second innings. Study things. That's dog shit, man. That is a wicket of David Miller, and it's a huge wicket that will limit South Africa. It is a huge wicket. I don't know why I have to continuously tell you guys this. Not everyone. This is just for certain people, certain clowns. Why do you comment in the chat what's about to happen when you know the commentary is here? Wait for the commentary because there are people who are using the chat. We might actually start bumping this time out, time A, because these people know as well about this rule here. There are people who use this chat and this commentary as a way to listen to the game. They're looking at the chat, you ruin it. They don't like that. That's why we time you out. My gosh, what is with the clowns tonight? It's a clown show. We don't usually have it this bad, but it's regulars on the channel who are doing it. Oh, you have been bumping recently. Fair enough, Jay. Just out of curiosity, how long did you time Shatish out for? No, it says the broadcast commentator's glazing Varun. I know he's got a wicket, but he's been shit today. He's been awful today, Varun Chakravarti. He's been awful today. He's dead set, giving up like 44 runs off the top of my head. 44 runs in 3.2, 3.3 overs. He's been awful today. All right. So Marco Janssen comes out now, and Tristan Stubbs. Well, they both can bat here, but Tristan Stubbs is the guy to hopefully bring them past the hunch. Why would they be glazing him? I don't get it. 1.8k seconds. How long is that? Was that 10 minutes? I think we do need to start making it 10 minutes. Oh, 30 minutes. Okay, fair enough. Well, yeah, 30. Look, I get it in a game like this, especially with the people who should know better. So 152 for 5 through 16 overs. There's 4 overs to go. They're still in a prime time position for probably 190, but 200's getting tough now. 200's getting tough now. 9.5 on the run rate. And here's Jasprit Bumrah. He's got 2 left. He's only given up 3.5 on the economy so far. Well, he has been very good so far. Bumrah. Can he finish it off with a bang? Stubbs on 17 from 11. I get 5 minutes for sneezing, so a spoiler is going to be at least 30. No, Smithster, you get timed out, justifiably so. Don't you start. Next bowl. That will be a single. The thing is like, I get it. The 2 people who have commented in this chat so far are Indian. So they are trying to celebrate and fire behind their team. They're excited about their team, and I get that. But we also need to respect the other people that are here watching, right, who can't watch the game with you. So that's why we have this rule. Right, and that's why we tell you, please just wait. You'll be here for the second innings, right? You'll be back. But please just wait. I get you're excited, get you having a good time, but please just wait, right? Have the respect for the other people that are here. So next bowl from Bumrah, and that is going to be knocked maybe for just a single. 154 for 5. I'm feeling they'll get a 190. I'm feeling a 190. Send an apology email to Jay. Tish, thank you. Yeah, send it to Jay. Send it to Jay. Most wickets in this World Cup, my boy, Venskal Quick. for the USA with the 13. Varun in second with 10. Third ball from Bumrah. Wow, that's a great Yorker. But it will be a single. Very good over again. He's been unbelievable here, Bumrah. That's a really nice ball and a really nice play there to prevent the wicket. That's right on the money with that bowl. He's clearly been their best bowler today, Bumrah. 2 for 10 through 2.3. 3 more balls left of this over. Oh, he didn't know where that ball was going. There's nothing wrong with that. That is going to be a dot ball. It's like Janssen, just that ball just really was irky. I don't even know how to explain that ball. It was really irky. So 2 balls left. Only the 3 off of it. 2 for 10 through 2.4 is spectacular numbers. Janssen 1 from 4. You do need him to still push the pace. And he will get a single. You don't really like that, though, because you do want to see... Well, Stubbs should get a single here so that he can be on strike for this next over. Again, Janssen can bat and he can slog. Overall, though, I'd prefer Tristan Stubbs to be on strike for sure. 100%. I just saw Sean's comment before with the gone. That's funny. Some of my comments still aren't going through. Refresh time, I'm assuming. Maybe not. I saw your first Tish one, but I don't need to really read that out. That will be a single for Tristan Stubbs. Who won the last game? Just been popping in and out today. England. They got to 146, mate, against Sri Lanka. So you would have expected Sri Lanka to win that game pretty easily, no? No, they did not. Sri Lanka got all out for under 100. So England won. So England are top of their group right now. There is a tie with the 1 point from last night's washout, New Zealand, Pakistan, and then Sri Lanka are in last place and pretty much done with a net run rate like that, and especially the way that they did lose. They should have won that game, and they just completely threw it away. But now England will play Pakistan on Wednesday. That's a massive, massive game in that group. And New Zealand will play Sri Lanka. But I think this is the end for Sri Lanka after today. I think it's pretty clearly the end for Sri Lanka after today. 3 overs to go here. Arshdeep Singh is 1 for 22 through 3. .24 in the run rate. Yeah, I don't know about that 200 anymore. At least they've been able to limit to them now. They'll need some big overs if they're going to do that. They'll just get a single here and it'll be Janssen who comes on strike. Yeah, they were like 5 or 6 wickets down at the power play today, Sri Lanka. Look at that run rate, though. Between 7 and 14 for South Africa is 11.63. 1 to 6 launch period was 41 for 3. They were about 6 on the run rate, and then they were again about 6 on the run rate in the period just after that consolidate from the 14 to the 17, or 15 to the 17. But now, oh, that is going to be a wicket. That is going to be a wicket. Janssen gone on 2, and it's 158 for 6. South Africa, you do still need to get above the 190 for mine. I know I said 200 at the start. I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway and say over 190. They've come back at the very least in this last little bit here, India. It was looking real ugly for them at one point. It was looking really great for them at one point, but they've brought it back to the greatness. They've slowed down massively here, Dark. So what's the tournament up to now? I'm not versed with the whole semi Super 8 stuff. So Super 8 is 4 teams here, 4 teams here, right? And then these 4 teams will play each other. These 4 teams will play each other. The top 2 teams here, the top 2 teams here, they'll play each other in the semi-finals. So first in Group A will play second in Group B, and first in Group B will play second in Group A, and then whoever wins those 2 games is in the final, which will be at Well, if it's Pakistan in the final, then it will be in Sri Lanka at our Pramadasar Stadium. If it's not Pakistan in the final, I'm pretty certain it's at Ahmedabad. Actually, no, sorry. If it's not India, I think it'll probably be at our Pramadasar because they're not going to take a game between New Zealand and South Africa to Ahmedabad because there's not going to be 132,000 seats sold. So yeah. Next bowl. And that's going to be a single here for Corbin Bosch. 159 for 6. So for mine, basically today was a do or die, in my opinion, between England and Sri Lanka, and they didn't come through. In my opinion. Well, I just realised this light turned off. I didn't even put this light back on, I don't think. I just realised that. I don't know if that light was on the entire time for this this game. That will be a single for Tristan Stubbs. He'll get to 22. $9.06. Can they get at 30 runs in 2.2? I don't know about that, man. They're probably more so now looking at the 180. So unfair for Zimbabwe and West Indies to place them in such a group. No, it's not. If you want to beat the best, you've got to beat the best. At the end of the day, do you feel like Zimbabwe and West Indies would want an easier group to progress? No, they want to play the best so that they can beat the best so that they can be the best. You are not going to win the World Cup playing teams that aren't of the calibre of India and South Africa. You should thrive under it. You should really relish it. That's a 4 here for Corbin Bosch. Good 4, 164 for 6. You should thrive and you should relish it. If you are scared about who you're playing at this time of the tournament, you shouldn't be here in this time of the tournament. If you care about who you're playing, you shouldn't be here. Because you believe that you can win the tournament. It's not about just giving out, participation medals here. At the end of the day, if West Indies believe that they're a good enough team to go to the semi-finals, then beat the best teams to get there. And the same thing goes for Zimbabwe. And that's a great bowl there from Arshdeep Singh. You've got to play the best teams, man. And it is a little bit of disrespect to Zimbabwe and West Indies there for you to say that, Trojan, because the West Indies and Zimbabwe will be spicy. But Zimbabwe have been disrespected this entire tournament so far, so they'll love comments like that. At the end of the day, no, there is nothing unfair about it. As Lily said, you got to earn it. Dark says, Bumrah has an over left on top of this, yeah. I'm still vibing a 180, though. I'm still vibing 16 runs in the next... 16 runs is just 8 runs and over for these last two overs. Bumrah 2 for 12 through 3. Let's see him finish off the job here and not let Tristan Stubbs punch him in the mouth. 2 overs to go. And that will be knocked into the ground. He should have let that go. That would have been a wide. But they get a single. 165 for 6. 165 for 6. Yeah, you can't just say that Zimbabwe and West Indies should get an easy group. Like, that's just not cricket, man. That's just not sport. It's just not how it works. Bumrah, second bowl of his over. He's got 5 balls left. He hasn't given up a boundary so far. And a good bowl, but it's just going to go for a single. He has not given up a boundary at all. 166 for 6 through 18.2. Yeah, they're showing us the highlights from that England-Sri Lanka game today at Palakelly in Kandy. How far is Kandy from Colombo? Well, I thought these were both actually in Colombo. Next bowl, and they will be swung on for a single. Just to clarify, I was not watching live. I was just requesting, please call a wicket soon. Why would I be calling ahead when I was asking Mayank not to do so? I've been here long enough. Okay, sure. But you can understand why. Exactly. I said that to you. I said that. Why are you telling Mayank not to do it and then you do it? The reason why, man, is because there was literally about 5 to 10 seconds and then there was a wicket. So it's like you would have half celebrated, but also you have to understand where we're coming from in regards to that. Because it was just awful timing, and we're not going to – because obviously otherwise, regardless, you would say, oh, I didn't say it because of that. So, like, I accept that, but also you need to be understanding of why that needed to happen as well. Trojan says, I mean, it would be a motivation for Zimbabwe if they could get to the semi-finals. They can defeat everyone except New Zealand in Group B. They would have a chance there. Why are New Zealand undefeatable in Group B? Why are New Zealand unbeatable? See, this is the thing. Like, what are we talking about? That's it, Paul. Do you think Zimbabwe are like a associate nation, effectively, like an awful associate nation? 9 minutes behind the innings timer right now, by the way. So they're going to lose a fielder for this last over. Well, they're going to have to bring a fielder in for the last over. They're going to have to bring a fielder in. Anyway, so motivation for Zimbabwe if they could get to the semi-finals. Yeah, but who gives a shit, man? Like, if they get to the semi-finals, they deserve to be in the semi-finals. If they earn it, they earn it. So India are reviewing something here. Oh, they're reviewing this as being out. Oh, that is just a catch, yeah. This is a catch. No one even noticed. This is actually a catch. Yeah, it hasn't bounced. It has just gone straight to Bumrah. So it is a catch. And gone. And it goes straight in the air. Good. That's a good review. Good review from India. And now they have got a very, very good chance. Well, they should be keeping them under 190 for sure at this point. But it's 167 for 7. That's Corbin Bosch who's gone. At least Tristan Stubbs is still there. So Jay didn't say that you can fight the whole bar alone. He just said that you took on the bar alone. There is a large difference between the context of what Jay said and how you've taken that comment. He didn't say you could what do you say again here? People hate fierce competition, just as Jay said, I can fight the whole bar alone. Yeah, he didn't say that you could fight the whole bar alone. He said that you could that you did take on the whole bar. Trent says he doesn't even get angry. He replies so formally. No, he definitely kicks up a stink at times, mate. We know Satish. But no, I don't hate Satish at all. He knows that. I don't know. Jay and Satish don't really like each other overall. I know that for a fact. Sometimes they have a little bit of flirty banter. And sometimes they do go at each other. But Satish today, he understands why a lot of people have gone at him today. You weren't here, Trojan, when he was going at all the English. During the England vs Sri Lanka stream, Satish was really going heavy at the English. And they were like, they really came for him too. So it's just kind of like a pile-on from what happened earlier. And he knows it. But anyway, it's 167 for 7 through 19 overs. They at least need another 13 runs to get the 180. Wowee. At least get these next 13 runs. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for new round here, guys. Right after this over, we're going to have a 10-minute break or so. I'll go wash my face, get ready for the second innings and all that kind of jazz. Wake myself up here. Oh, shot over the top. And that will go to... Oh, good fielding. 2 runs. Tristan Stubbs gets to 26. And there'll be 169 for 7 through 19.1. So yeah, we'll have a break for 10 minutes or so. So you go kick back, take a chill pill, get a drink, get some food into you. And then we'll be pumping along as India try to chase down probably about 180. Satish does his best fighting in an elevator. Shatish's the best elevator fighter in the world. He'll punch on with you in an elevator, that's for sure. So 5 more balls left here. Hardik Pandya. 27 runs, no wickets for Pandya. And good Yorker, man. They'll get 2 here. They do want Tristan Stubbs on strike. And they will get him back there. If that hit the stumps, they would have been gone. It would have been Rambada. But if that hit the stumps, Rambada would have been gone. 28 from 20. At least they're into the 170s now, South Africa. All right. Only a couple more balls left here. I'm hosting an NRL quiz during the break. Yeah, well, good luck with that, mate. You enjoy that. We'll see how many people here know much about the NRL. Kraken says, told you under 180. Did you? Oh, that's a 6. Oh, no, he's not. That's a 4 from actually arguably a misfield. To 175. Yeah, you would have been worried at one stage, though, Kraken. About 5 overs ago, before they started losing a couple of wickets, you would have been worried that they were still going over that 200. South Africa realistically should have gotten over 200 in this, and I think you can admit that. I think you can understand that South Africa should have got over 200 in this. Can go 180. It definitely can still go 180 here. But South Africa have been their own worst enemies in regards to not getting the 200. Either way, though, they've fought back hard from where they were at one stage. $175 for 7. 3 more balls to go here. Hardik Pandya to Stubbs. He'll swing, and that'll get punched. No to the run because he wants to stay on strike. Okay. Yeah, look, Val, there's still 2 balls left here. Right now, they would be chasing 176. They're going to be relying heavily on the seamers here, Saffers. 2 more balls left from Hardik Pandya. He's given up 8 runs so far in the over. Stubbs, can you get those 5 runs to push it into the 180? Oh, well, he's absolutely powered that for a 6, and it's 181. Told you to get over 180, Kraken. 181 for South Africa. That's a huge 6 from Tristan Stubbs. If India chases this in 10 overs, I'm never watching cricket again. Dude, Abhishek Sharma is due a big game, man. Abhishek Sharma has gotten a duck in every single World Cup game so far, all 3 of them. But he didn't play Namibia. He's due a big game here, and when he gets a big game going, when he gets it moving along, that is going to be put up in the air. And Tristan Stubbs has hit another 6. They've actually ended on 187. They've actually ended on 187 here. Tristan Stubbs has just gone bang. He's unlucky he won't get the Fitty bomb because that's the last ball. Wow, they've actually cost themselves a little bit there with that last over. They gave up a couple of big 6s, and that is a huge final over, but that could be the decisive one. Look, they didn't get 200. They got 187, so India need 188 runs to win at 9.4 runs per over. Very much doable for them. But we have seen in this World Cup that final overs have been so important. We have seen that they have been very, very important. And that was a huge finish. A huge finish there to that first innings. Kraken says Stubbs always performs no matter what the situation. Well, he got 44 runs there. Should have probably got a Fetty bomb and brought him up to basically the 190. Basically. So, look, this game's on. It's still a tough chase, like no matter what. I just feel that India should get the job done here. Okay. Anyway, I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes, guys. Enjoy the chat. Have a bit of a cool down period, and I'll be back in just a few minutes' time. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, grab a drink. We'll be back in a moment. let's get going again. We'll get going again for the second innings. Obviously, we've seen the South Africans put up a score of 7 for 187, really helped by that final over there. Well, India can definitely chase that down. They definitely know how to do that, and they would be the favourites for this game. But unfortunately, I just don't know if this is going to be enough for South Africa. It's still going to be a solid chase, but the South Africans are going to really need to pick up some early wickets here. And the key one's going to be Abhishek Sharma, because if he gets off the mark, he's gotten a 0, a 0, a 0 in his 3 innings so far. He's gotten 3 ducks in his 3 games in the World Cup. So if he gets off the mark, he could go absolutely massive to make up for what we've seen recently. But obviously that thumbs up button, subscribe, but it's waiting for the second innings to get underway. And I'm sure they're probably going to bowl maybe a bit of Lungi and Gedi to start off with, is what I would imagine. Question 1. Which NRL player got caught hiding under a bed when officials performed a curfew check? I'm glad that you know about Google, mate. I can tell you the Dragons were the team, and it was a Paul Vaughan barbecue. How about that? How about a little bit of Zach Lomax? Or there was about 3 players who actually got caught under the bed, mind you. Even if I watch NRL, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't know the answer to that one. No, it's a pretty big thing in the NRL, bro. It's a pretty big thing around COVID time where the Dragons had a barbecue at their house, and Zach Lomax got caught under the bed, and Paul Vaughan was the one hosting the barbecue. Yeah, and Smith doesn't know how numbers work, Trojan, but Smith is also the one that said Cooper Connolly was going to be the best player this World Cup. So that's why you take what he says with a bit of a grain of salt. Should player scored a try but foolishly celebrated with the wrong team? There has been many of those. Oh no, Smith, come on, man. There's been many times that's happened. What's he doing? Smith is all over the shop again, mate. He's all over the shop again. Rocked early, man. Look at that. Markham to Cock and Rickleton out for 4, 6, and 7. But then look at Brevis. Miller, and Stubbs at 45, 63, and 44. Unbelievable middle order. Saved him. Stubbs needed to accelerate earlier. They needed 200 at least. I agree. It's not like 187 to 200 is insanely different, but it's still, I do agree they needed 200 at least. I do agree with what you're saying. So the Indian team is about to come out. Smith is given justice number 2. Says, I'm just trying to provide some innings break antics to avoid an exodus of viewers. Yeah, thank you, Smith. The only issue behind what you're saying is that this is rugby league you're talking about, and we're on a cricket stream. So the viewers, they're not rugby league fans that you're talking to. You know, for example, Kraken Balls, he's an English cricket fan. Serpent, well, he doesn't mind me rugby league and cricket as well. Brenton, he shouldn't like rugby league. He's a Knights fan, but he does. You know, she's a cricket fan from India. And, you know, we have a few from all over the world. So, you're talking about a sport that's not the stream. I mean, what are the chances Abhishek gets another duck? Dude, if that happens, he's definitely off of the number 1 rankings, that's for sure, and that's not a debate. Not that I think it's too overwhelmingly strong behind anybody else. Like, you probably would move a guy like Sahibzada Farhan up pretty well, but he is so far behind Sharma in the ratings that wouldn't be happening. But on form, it would be Sahibzada Farhan from Pakistan. On form. Patham Nasanka could bump up, but he's so far ahead in the ratings. So far ahead. I mean, I don't shout about cricket on the NRL streams. Well, Seven, there's no point because you wouldn't get responded to. There's just too many comments about the NRL. Obviously, NRL is the main content on the channel, right? So we've got a lot more people watching those at a good time zone in Australia. So it just wouldn't be anything really. You wouldn't get the reply. That's why I always say, if you're a cricket fan on this channel and you don't watch rugby league, you don't enjoy it, please use the comments here on these cricket streams, because we can talk very much easily about cricket. But if it's a rugby league stream, asking a question about cricket, it just won't really vibe, right? So just wait to the cricket streams. Unless you want to get into rugby league, which we've got a lot of people getting into rugby league on this channel who weren't originally rugby league fans, But if you come to a rugby league stream to talk cricket, it's just not going to fly. And cricket is more accepting of rugby league on the basis that it's such a elongated game, right? So you can kind of speak about things in the slower breaks. But still, we try to keep the two sports separate. You enjoyed footy as much as I did until those pre-season games. Brenton, mate, I don't know what you're talking about. Titans are the greatest team of all time, and I can't remember a different thing. I can't remember us ever losing a game, and well, I don't think we'll ever lose a game. We can definitely talk about Margot Robbie. Spencer says, okay, next time you take over innings break entertainment. Oh my goodness me. Alright. India needs 188 runs to win at 9.4 runs per over. The pressure isn't on them as much as they probably should have had. I still think that South Africa should have bat second. They should have bowled first. Would you say Farhan has a chance to break Kohli record? No, not anymore. He did, but not anymore. He did, but not anymore, man. What does he need now, actually? I should ask that. What does he need now from the rest of this tournament to break Kohli's record? So, India, cracking contest coming up. Do you think that India find a way? Do you think they get the job done? Or do you feel like South Africa hold out and they get the big win to get us rocking in this Super 8? Will Abhishek score a run today? You'd hope so. He will be opening. Just want one run from Abhishek. Yeah, it looks like they are starting with spin not eyes. I just noticed that as well. I think people are hating him for talking about NRL, but no, I'm telling him to talk about cricket, not NRL. Because we say the same thing to cricket fans in the NRL streams. So I've got to be fair to both. Well, yeah, they are bowling Aiden Markram here first, which is interesting. I was expecting a bit of Lungi and Geedy, but they're going with Aiden Markram first. India, power play. South Africa, they lost some wickets early. And first ball from Markram is going to be a dot ball to Ishan Kishan. Let's move that down there. Okay, now we're going to go get the scorecard up on the screen for the South Africans. I'm very surprised they've gone with Markram here. Another dot ball, though. You're happy with that first two balls? Alright, there we go. So now we'll move that here. Ishan Kishan and Abhishek Sharma. He needs 99 to beat Kohli's record. Yeah. Yeah, no, I do think he beats it. Oh my gosh, that was nearly wicket there of Ishan Kishan on 0. Wow, this has been a strong start from Aiden Markram. I was doubting the spin, but it's working out this first 3 balls, and that does go up in the air, but definitely doesn't carry to the man in the field. And that's up in the air. He's going to be gone here. He's going to be gone here. He's going to be gone here. It's a wicket. Oh my gosh, Ishan Kishan is out on 0, and it's 0 for 1. Well, we doubted Markram. We shouldn't have, because they've got a wicket. Ishan Kishan is out for a duck on 4 runs. Wowee. That is thrown a spanner in the works here. Maybe South Africa knew exactly what they were doing. That is a huge wicket there of Ishan Kishan. And we still haven't seen Abhishek Sharma get a bat yet, and he usually goes through a duck as well. Wow, what a start. Yeah, did the curse go from Abhishek to Kishan? Well, it's funny, Dark King, because if you think about it, Abhishek usually faces 4 balls before he gets a duck as well. Well, Ishan Kishan just faced 4 balls before a duck. Is this mandatory that someone will get a duck? Pathetic. It is mandatory for one of the Indian openers to get a duck. Usually it's Sharma, but today it's been Ishan, and yet we still haven't seen Sharma have face a ball yet. Was there a wicket in the Namibia game for a duck? Not Namibia, the Indian Namibia game? When he didn't play? In that game, no, we saw 61 and 22 from Kishan and Sanju Samson. Okay, 5th ball of the over here. And that's going to be a single. So they'll get off the mark at least with Tilak. India can't stitch together an opening partnership to save their lives. They honestly cannot. Well, he should have gotten out in the previous ball. He should have been out for 3 balls, but he got lucky and then ended up getting out for 4 balls. Ahmedabad going silent is one of the wonders of the world, Serpent. It really is incredible. Abhishek will get off the mark with a boundary. He will hit a 4, and finally, that is Abhishek Sharma's first runs at this World Cup. That is Abhishek Sharma's first runs at this World Cup after 3 attempts. He finally gets some runs on the board. That's the first over down. Only the 5 runs off it and 1 wicket. Huge, baby. Huge. I'd rather hear Ahmedabad silent. Well, we're talking about Ahmedabad being silent. He's trending. No, the Indians are trendsetters in regards to their opening partnerships, that's for sure. Abhishek takes a strike every time up front better. Abhishek comes to the party after sacrificing Kishan. Well, yeah, that's weird because, okay. But anyway, Abhishek is due a good score here. We've said this before. All right, Ben. So Marco Janssen, first bit of pace here from South Africa. It was an interesting choice in Markram, but it obviously worked out with a wicket. Marco Janssen. Oh my gosh, he's out. Tilak's gone on 1. It's 5 for 2, lads. They're going to review this, but Tilak is gone on 1, sorry. They're going to review this. This is a massive review. They've actually just celebrated this South Africa, and it might be 5 for 2. And the umpire called out, by the way. The umpire called out. India have reviewed this. This is wow. I think that ball's hitting the bat there. There's no serious deflection or anything like that, but that's really close. We're going to have to look at the Snicko. Go to the ultra edge. That's out. That's out. It's 5 for 2. Book the elevator back to India, lads. Ranton Tilak gone on 1. It's 5 for 2 after 1.1 over here. India are getting and putting themselves into a really dark area of this game right now. What a start for South Africa. Book the rickshaw's crazy. Well, they call it auto. They call it an audio in an auto in India. But Tilak Varma gone for 1. Deary me. Lily Angel says, let's go South Africa. Ahmedabad, pure quiet right now. Just no noise whatsoever. It is just as silent as a mouse. And India are completely on the back foot. And the crowd goes mild. They're less than mild right now, Smithster. With that being said, South Africa started off this same way. Abhishek Sharma needs to turn up big time here. Let's have a bit more respect, Serpent. I understand how much they worship cows and whatnot, man. So let's have a little bit more respect in regards to comments like that. So Suryakumar Yadav comes up here for India. 5 for 2 through 1.1. What happened to you, Tuk? That'll be a 4 for Suryakumar Yadav. So the Abhishek and Suryakumar have both had 1 shot each and both gotten boundaries. The other 2 guys got out for a duck and 1. What happened to you, Tuk? Oh my gosh. 8 runs down. No, 9 runs actually, because they're on 5 and now they'd be on 9, I think. Yeah. What a game this is turning out to be, though. 187 might be an extremely competitive score with the way this is going. Yeah, Trojan says not worship cows, but cows are sacred symbols because of India being dairy and agriculture dependent country. Well, isn't cows like sacred because of Hinduism? Yeah, Trojan's Indian. Isn't cows sacred because of Hinduism? Hold on. Yes, cows are considered sacred in Hinduism. Oh, that's going to go through for a 4 here from Surya Kumar out of. He'll get to 8 runs. Yeah, cows are considered sacred in Hinduism, primarily representing motherhood, life, and non-violence. The earth's nurturing nature. Yeah, no, it's not to do with the agriculture industry. It's to do with your religion. Oh, it's a very competitive score here, Michael. Especially with what it's looking at right now. Again, I still feel like they should have got too hunchy, but with that being said, 187, they'd be very much fancying themselves right now, the Saffers. By the way, Michael, where do you happen to be from? Are you South African? Are you Australian? Are you Kiwi? Are you English? Good fielding. I feel like maybe... I don't know. Why is it a crime to eat cows, though? Because it's their religion. In Hinduism, cows are sacred, so that's why it's a crime. Everything in Hinduism has symbolic meanings. I was going to leave the stream, but now I'm not so sure. The match is so interesting. It is a very interesting match right now, man, because these are the two favourites to win the World Cup. And right now, they're making a real big game of it. My money is on South Africa. No, but who do you support, Michael, is what I'm asking. It's a dot ball. I don't know who to fancy from this point onwards. It's such a difficult game to predict right now. 2 overs down, it's 13 from 2. It is a very difficult game to predict, but I think the advantage is well and truly in favour of the team that's already got their runs. There's no pressure there. India are very, very reliable in regards to folding at the crunch of it all. They fold under the pressure of 1.4 billion people watching. They don't have a good strike rate with getting the job done when the going gets tough. And right now, the going is going to get tough, and they're already 2 wickets down. What's your opinion on ex-players coaching for other countries when they retire? South Africa have a bowler coaching for India. Obviously, England have McCullum. Yeah, England loves a good New Zealander. Their captain is Ben Stokes. He's from Hamilton, and then you got McCullum. Oh, swing and a miss from Abhishek Sharma. That'll be a dot ball from Rambada. Tangiso Rambada. I don't like it, but I also don't really care. But I don't personally like it. Ryanell says, is South Africa win today? Do you think they are favourites? That's a very hard question to answer because it's like you'd still back in. Oh, dot ball. You'd still think like India surely get it done, but you would really heavily consider it. I think, on my perspective, yes. But overall, India would still be the justifiable favourites, even with a loss today. People would call it a wake-up call game. They'd say you haven't won this tournament yet, and it's a wake-up call game, and still believe in them. I would say that if South Africa can get the job done here in Ahmedabad, but like I said with Australia before the tournament started, like if Australia played India in the group stage of the Super 8s, I felt like whoever would win that game would end up losing the follow-up game if they played each other again. It could work out to be the same here between South Africa and India. It could work out so many different ways. I don't really know how to answer your question, man. Individually, I'd probably say South Africa have the advantage, but India is still at home. They wouldn't be out of the tournament. They must beat Zimbabwe and also West Indies, which they should do. And then they get back on that momentum. They realise how good the South Africans are. They don't take them for granted. That's a beautiful shot from Abhishek Sharma. That is a 6. I think that's cleared the boundary. There. Yep, it has been 19 for 2 through 2.4. So I'll go from my personal perspective. Sure. No, you know what I'm going to say? It's a tie. I'd say it's evens. I'd say both India and South Africa would be favourites. I couldn't separate them really, man. And you still have 4 capable batters to walk in. Correct, but they're struggling right now. The Windies are enigmatic. They could score 45 runs or 245 runs. Yeah, that's true. They'll get a dot ball there. So 19 for 2 through 2.5. It's a hard one to call. I'm trying to just figure out, because I'm not going to just completely wipe out India if they were to lose this game. Because I still think, regardless, they'll get through this group stage. Could you imagine if Zimbabwe, and again, I don't think this happens, could you imagine if Zimbabwe beat India and then progressed through, and it was New Zimbabwe and South Africa who progressed through the group stage, or even West Indies, but Zimbabwe, broke through and won it. Could you imagine the slander India would receive? Like Australia, we've been absolutely pillaged by the cricket community. That's going to be a 4 here for Abhishek. He'll go to 14. It'll be 23 for 2 through 3 overs. We've been absolutely pillaged and slaughtered in this Australian community, and justifiably and validly so for our poor team selections and the way we've played. India, if they do not win this World Cup, will get destroyed on social media, in the media, by pundits. They put all their money into this tournament. They put all their money into T20. They've suffered and sacrificed Test cricket and also ODI cricket for the T20. They are at home. There is no excuses for them. They've got plenty of ICC top tier batters in the top 50, top 100. They've got the best bowler in the world. They've got the best bowler and batter on the ICC rankings, and plenty of bowlers overall, and plenty of all-rounders. There's just no excuses for them. They must win this tournament, otherwise they will get slaughtered. If they don't even get through the Super 8s, that'd be wild. But again, they should do that. Terrible ball run. Butter was only 6 off of the over till that, yeah. So 3 overs gone, and Lungi and Gudi, first ball of his day, and it'll be a dot ball. The stage is set for Abhishek to have a comeback. We did have that. We did say this before the game that he's due. He's got 0 runs through the first 3 games he played. He is due. But because he's due, Kishan Ishan, that's who got 0. All the pressure on India. There is all the pressure on India, Ben. But they're looking a lot more comfortable in this last over. The 188 isn't the problem for India. Realistically, it is the wickets, even down by 2. The 188 shouldn't be the issue here. It shouldn't be. Abhishek is swinging his ball. Yeah, that's a concern. But it is the power play, so this is where you want to punch in your runs. It's a good bowl there from Ngidi. You couldn't do anything with that bowl. 2 dot balls. 16.4 overs remaining. Surya Kumar is on strike. Lungi Ngidi for his 3rd bowl of the over. And that will be a dot ball again. Great over here, especially for the power play. You're pretty happy that it's Yadav on strike and not Abhishek, because Abhishek, although is a wicket chance, there's also a chance of hitting just 6s galore at the moment. You still able to go out much, you stream most of the days. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I'm sweet. February's a bit of a write-off for me, man. Like, I can't do, like, tomorrow, great. I've only got 1 stream per day for the next 5 or 6 odd days. Which is, on some days we've got 2. But overall, February's been a very tough month, man. I haven't been able to do too much overall. That will be a good fielding there from South Africa to stop that from going through for a boundary single. February's been a write-off, but overall it's just weekends now that I can't really do too much. But next weekend it's only the Sunday that really is a hectic one with 4 streams. But once this T20 World Cup finishes, I'll have a lot more free time. Sometimes you just got to sacrifice, man. Sacrifice this month and you'll be sweet for next month, kind of deal. Yeah, it is nice, man. It is nice. I go usually sit on the balcony here at the apartment. I'm actually moving to a different apartment in 2 days' time. But it is refreshing to go out and just chill out for a bit. So 24 for 2 through 3.4. on holiday. Man, I'm permanently like this, so it's not really like a holiday as you would think. That's a wide. Yep, there's your wide. It was such a good over, and now Ngadi's giving up a 1 then a wide. Ancient India cows were direct symbols of wealth. They were used in agriculture for dairy, and their manure used in fields that was taboo to kill. Yeah, that and the religious values. So get out of the over here, Butter. It's been so good. They're well under the 10 runs per over, though. They are above where South Africa were at this stage. I think so anyway. That'll be a dot ball. I feel like they're above. Is you... Abhishek on 14 from 8. Sadiq Kumar is on 9 from 9. 188 in the target. One more ball left here in this over. Still 2.1 left to the power play though. There is a lot of tension in this crowd. Is there actually like 100k people here? Because it doesn't look like there's many seats actually available in general at all. That would be a single. There's no way they've sold out 135,000 for this. Surely not. Required rate of 10. Did you grab a coffee? Eyes look a little heavy. Yes. Yeah, no, I did beforehand, but obviously I'm tired now. But we just got an hour and 10 minutes or so to pump through, and it's going to be an interesting chase. But of course, we get to this point of the day. It's 10:50 p.m. at night. We've done 3 streams, and we've had a hectic weekend. Tomorrow is going to be a good one to get a nice little sleep in. But then again, I've got to put out a video tomorrow for my preseason predictions. Oh, dude, I'd love to attend Ahmedabad Park Stadium Serpent. It's not hard to get to one, though. There'll be an ODI World Cup there in the next 6 years or so. Unless they do change it, because they were talking about taking away the 2031 ODI World Cup from India, I think it was. Because next year, the ODI World Cup is in South Africa in 2027. And then 2028, the T20 World Cup is in Australia and New Zealand. And 2031, I think, is the next ODI World Cup. I wonder where the World Cup for the T20 is in 2030, sorry. But no, Ahmedabad would be an incredible stadium to get to. But it would have to be packed. I wouldn't care about it if it wasn't like a sold-out World Cup final kind of deal or a semi-final kind of deal with India playing. 4.1 overs down. $26 for 2. Janssen bowling, swing and a miss. Great bowl. T20 is in England, Wales and Ireland. That's cool. I might even think about going to that. I may even think about going to that. I'm just going to quickly look at the EPL scores. Palace at 1-0 over Wolves. Fulham 3-1 over Sunderland. Yikes. 11:30. Oh, so 35 minutes time for Tottenham Arsenal. Come on, Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Get up. Get up. Oh, well. Wicket. Yeah, worst time to go mute, unfortunately. But there is a wicket. He is gone. Abhishek Sharma out on 15. That is just an absolutely massive wicket there for the South Africans. They nearly got in each other's way as well. Oh, does he catch that? Does he hold on to it? Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's in the fist bump. That's a gone. No, it is a gone. It is a gone. It is a wicket. And yeah, at least Abhishek didn't get a duck, but 15 is still not fantastic. Yeah, sorry guys, the muting wasn't me. It just came out of the blue there at the literal worst time as Abhishek Sharma gets caught by Corbin Bosch, bowled by Marco Janssen, 26 for 3, and they're in a bit of yikes right now. Yeah, we spoke about this before, Duraz. Seeing Ahmedabad go quiet is the best, man. It's one of the wonders of the world. One of the wonders in the world, that. Wonders of the world. Dark says, Maharaj tried his best, so Abhishek doesn't get out. I think the prediction now has made a massive turn. Oh, I just don't want to ever wipe him out, mate, you know? I just don't want to ever just say that it's not over. India can still absolutely win this game, but this has been a really weird Ahmedabad game. It's been really weird. It's been really strange, this game. And that's going to be a single here for Washington. Well, what do you want me to do about it, Shatij? I don't even know why you dropped that comment there, man. What do you want me to do about it, mate? Like, do you have a suggestion? Because otherwise, what's the point of your comment? It's never over with India. It's never over with India, Serpent. It's never over. But then again, we'd say that with Australia too, and it's well and truly over with them. It's well and truly over with them. So Sadu Kumar Yadav on 9, Washington on 1 from 1. Oh, they're in tough pickle, man. Because again, we had the same thought process about South Africa at this point. What is TV then? Yeah, but I just don't understand what the point of the comment is. Like, what do you want me to do about it? What are you asking me to do? 3 more wickets and it's done. It depends on how many runs they get. It depends on how many runs they get at that point. However, South Africa, I always say this, South Africa have already done it. India still need to do it. That's why you lean with South Africa. But based off of what India can do, they can still do this. But I would back in the team that's already done it so far. Just saying what I feel, but why? You know, it's just there's just no purpose to it. If you say that we're too far behind in the game, well, you know we can't do anything about it. So what's the purpose of the comment? Three more wickets and it's done. Oh, you mad? You're in a tough spot. Yeah, he might be, Servant. He might be there. Because he understands what I'm saying. As long as Surya is there, India always have a chance. Sure. Oh, I'm going to change that poll. Who will win? India, South Africa. Sorry, that poll finished. I must have put it up too early last night. So go vote in the poll again. Well, that's going to change. That's going to be interesting now to see who you vote for in the poll. It's going to be Kangisa Rambara in for a bowl. Catch efficiency. This World Cup, 27 catches, 5 drops for 84.4% success rate on the catch efficiency, South Africa. So this is very good catch from Bosch. Maharaj almost helped out his motherland. Dude, it was so close. They were getting in the way of each other. They needed that wicket. Well, they didn't need it, but it's huge. Oh, dude, good ball. Will be a dot ball. 5.2 overs down. Just realised it's 29 runs. Forget the wickets. 29 runs in 5.2 overs right now. Did you ever expect this from India? Did you ever expect 29 runs in 5.2 overs? That's 29 runs in 5.3 overs. Did you ever expect this from India? Oh, damn. Liverpool won in the last seconds as well. 97th minute of the game. How are we looking here? Shatij Seb says, oh no, it's the worst time for you to get into Shatij. He's already in a bad mood. Oh, Shatish has had a nightmare so far today. He's had a nightmare. He comes in and he cracks on with the English. He takes on the whole bar. He gets the slapping, but we respect him for it. And then England win by 51 runs when he said that 150 was an indefensible lead. And now it's not looking great for India. Oh, these are when boys become men here, Shatish. This is when you learn. You learn. I've gone through it many times. That's up in the air, and that's going to go for no good fielding. That'll be 2 runs here. This is where the boys become men. Very good fielding. South Africa doing well in the field. They are. They are doing well in the field. Now we look at it. We all have to go through it, man. I already said that Australia are going to win this World Cup. How's that going? How's that going for us? Is it looking alright, mate? Looking the goods? That'll be a single here for Surya Kumar. To be fair, though, I said this before the World Cup. Still. Look at like me not revising for my biology test and instead watching this has paid off so far. It's been a fun game to watch, but right now it's definitely feeling strong for the South Africans. Darks is feeling sorry for Shatish. Mate, he gives it as well. Everyone gives and everyone takes. Takes years to build a reputation and seconds to lose one if you had a good run. Nah, he's learning, bro. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. No, it's like me the other day, right? Like, at the end of the day, everyone here's passionate. So, like, you see me lose my mind when I'm watching Australia play. You see me... this is the end of the power play, by the way. I think it's drinks breaks. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Yeah, it is the end of the power play. And it's 3 for 31. But no, like, at the end of the day, everyone who's here understands this channel. You are going to give it, and you are going to take it. It's just as simple as that. If you want to get involved with the banter and sledge other teams and other people and me and all that type of stuff, you better expect it in return. But you can give it, but you just have to take that flip side. And you still get salty. Look at me. When Australia plays, of course I've got to get salty. Because I love my team. I'm passionate about my team. And I'm sure he's the same with India. And I'm sure a lot of people here are like that with England. And if England had lost today, they would have copped it. And wouldn't have been great for them. But you just have to power through it. GRS says Australia going to rebuild, but it's going to be hard replacing the pedigree of the legends. Well, T20's never been our forte, mate. T20s, we're not having to rebuild the test team right now, or the ODI team overall right now. We're close to those, but not quite. Australia just needs to re-tinker when it comes to the test team. You know, we've still got plenty of guys there. T20, there needs to be a rebuild, but it's never been our prime time. It's never been our priority. Australians don't care about T20, bro. They just don't. People keep thinking that Australians are just making it up on the spot. I see so many people online that keep saying Australians are only saying they don't care about T20 because they're not good at it. Wrong. Australians have never cared about T20. They didn't even care when we won in 2021. Australians do not care about T20. It is not because they're bad. Whether they're good or bad, Australians do not care about T20. It has always been the case. If you want to go back to 2021 when they won the World Cup, half of this country, if not 3/4 of this country, if not 98% of this country, didn't even know we won that World Cup. If you don't know how to banter, then probably it's nice too. Was South Africa wrong to bat first? Must be chasing this total down. Well, I feel like I felt like, I put my hands up, that South Africa were wrong. We're back on the way and it will be a single. I felt like South Africa were wrong to decide to bat first. But right now, it's looking like it was a brilliant idea. No, says people think we just say that as an excuse. They do. But the thing is, you love your T20. I love my T20. I just love all cricket formats. I love my cricket. You do. We have Jay Hughes, Aussie, who loves his cricket. Everyone loves their cricket, right? With that being said, T20 is the lowest of the care factors overall for Australians, if they do love their cricket. But we are outliers. We are absolutely an outlier. Australians do not care about T20. I am an outlier with a few people here and some Australians who are just cricket aficionados. That was a home World Cup too. Nah, we won in Dubai, didn't we? Wasn't it in UAE or Dubai? They must have had a really good strategy if they chose to bat first. Yeah, absolutely, Ryanel. You're right. You know, they know a lot more than me. I'm just a person sitting here commentating, talking about what we're seeing. But, you know, I trust their judgment over mine, and their judgment has obviously panned out so far. Long way to go, but their judgment has panned out so far. That'll be a single here, so 34 for 3 through 6.3. The issue is other fan bases don't realise we have too many sports to follow in giggle and hit than giggle and hit 20 T20s, especially with so many T20 World Cups. Like, we have had 3 T20 World Cups in the span of 4 years. This is the 4th since 2020. This is the 4th World Cup since 2020. And the 2021 was actually in 2021 because of COVID. So we've had 4 World Cups in the last 5 years. So, yeah, you're right, Serpent. India can't be knocking it around. Run rate is rising, concerning. Yeah, no, they do need to push this run rate up. They're 36 for 3 through 6.5. 36 runs. And they're already well out of the power play. Caboose says, sorry if I mispronounced that name, man. Let me know if I mispronounced it. But Caboose says, South African here. If we win this tournament, it'll be awesome, but it's not the real thing. I don't think we care as much about T20. Maybe I'm wrong. Look, I can't speak for South African fans. That's a huge hit here from Washington Sundar, and that's going to go for a 6. That's a massive hit. That'll be 42 for 3 through 7 overs. Good hit from Washington. They needed that. It's an interesting thought process. I can't speak on behalf of South Africans. I feel like most big Western countries, like your England, like your Australia, New Zealand, I would assume South Africa, you would be Test too. But see, Test for you, you're now very good at it, right? Where you've finally broken through the barrier of winning a trophy of that WTC, which we're so proud of you. Like, it's so good from an Australian perspective. If we're going to lose that WTC to anybody, better not be to India. For gosh sake, please don't ever let it be England. I couldn't deal with that. But if we lost it to and New Zealand, it would be too much grief losing to them. But we're actually quite happy that South Africa did it to break through. But I would say that from my perspective, South Africa is a test first nation. But if T20, if you go and win this at the end of the day, awesome. Realistically, the T20 nations are going to be your India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, regardless of success. From my perspective. Oh, it'd be massive for South Africa winning Duras. They've always, forgive me, South Africans, they've always choked. They've never really been a consistent, successful team in regards to winning trophies. That's why the WTC was so massive for them. And look at the last T20 World Cup where they should have won the T20 World Cup and they choked. So it's amazing to see them being heavily competitive here. But I still feel like they would take beating Australia in this upcoming Test series. I genuinely believe South Africa would prefer to beat Australia in the Test series coming up in South Africa this year in like August or whatever, which we'll be live for here on the channel. I believe with my heart you guys would prefer to beat us in that Test series than you would to win this World Cup. Actually, let me know in the chat, because I can't speak on behalf of you. But I believe that would be the case. Or if you could win the... Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's got him. Washington Sundar is out. It is a wicket. It is a wicket, and it's 43 for 4 through 7.2. 4. Still can't write him off. Serpent, I feel like you just... I don't think you can come back from 43 for 4. This would be an unbelievable miracle here. It would be an unbelievable miracle. 43 for 4 through 7.2. This is unbelievable scenes. This is unbelievable scenes. T20 is backyard cricket to Australians, Sean. You're right. South Africans need to win the T20 World Cup. This will give them the confidence for the ODI World Cup. Well, I'm looking forward to that GRS. I'm actually considering coming to South Africa for that next year. But the ODI World Cup is in South Africa next year. That would give you confidence to know you can go and do it. But you still do have that chokers tag. Again, with all due respect, I do have to say it how it is. You do still have that chokers tag. So even if you win this and people start to believe in you a lot more, you still need to go ahead and win it. But it would give you great confidence for next year. Yeah, different formats. Sure, Serpent, it is different formats, but you will gain that confidence By winning the WTC, it provides your nation confidence that you can actually break through the barrier. And then if you won the T20, well, then you've won the biggest stage of Test cricket. You've then won the biggest stage of T20. Well, then what's to say you can't go on and win that ODI World Cup next year in South Africa, right? So that's why, even though it's different formats, you still gain confidence from here to gain confidence from here to really encapsulate everything and get all three. Do you know what I mean? Still, there are Shivam, Dubé, Hardik, Sky, and Rinku. There is, but 43 for 4 through 7.2, it would take a gigantic turnaround here, man. A gigantic turnaround. They still need 144 more runs. 146 more runs, sorry. Make that 145 with a single here. Aryan says, Aussies are loving it now. You are enjoying now. Rubbish batting. I haven't said one thing bad about India here. I'm just observing the game. Mate, I'm just commentating what I see. There's no celebration here from me. Like, at the end of the day, I'll celebrate every wicket for either team. But this has been a very clean performance here from South Africa. Like, sure, I could laugh at you, but why would I laugh? Our team got knocked out already. We were dog shit. And Australians got no right to talk right now about the winning and losing of certain teams, unless it's England. I'll always talk shit about England if they lose. Even if they lose the final and we lost in the preliminary, we didn't even qualify for the World Cup, and we're just in the pre qualification period, and we got knocked out there, and we lost to Jersey. I would still talk shit about England, and I would still say it with chest as well. But like outside of that, then no, I wouldn't. So 44 for 4 wickets through 7.4. Next bowl from Bosch, that'll be a wide. Seb one says, I remember we were accused of being the ones who were bottlers, and yet here we are. Seb, don't start me on the English, man. Come on, man. Why don't you just... It's not about you right now. It's not about you. How about that first Ashes test? Do you reckon that was a bottle job? You are still bottle shops, mate. You're just a bunch of Arsenal, but for cricket. Kabul says, for me, the ODI World Cup is the only cricket World Cup. That will be a single here for India. 46 for 4. Is the only cricket World Cup. Until we redeem ourselves, at least, I would rather beat the Aussies in a test series than win the T20 World Cup. 100%. But see, you understand that, and English understand that, and Kiwis understand that. But Indians and Pakistanis and Bangladeshis don't get that thought process. They don't get it. And I don't know if they'll ever get it. They think we're using it as an excuse. We're not. It's been consistent from all these countries for a long time. I will take the stamina, the patience, the strategy, the structure, all of that in Test cricket every day of the week. But I'll still enjoy cricket at T20 level. I just won't take it as seriously. I'm not going... I was really annoyed at the way Australia put in a performance in this World Cup. But I wasn't annoyed because we got knocked out of the T20 World Cup. I was annoyed at the pathetic performance from Australia as a nation, as a country, because I love my country and I'm proud of my country, right? It's not a pure T20 format kind of deal. It's more to do with the fact that it's just Australia. Lily Angel said, I think it's quite divided. T20 cricket popularity has grown massively in South Africa. Tests, for me, are the primary in the cricket pyramid. Would you say the common consensus for South Africa is still Test, or would it be T20? T20 is easier to watch more cricket. You're not going to get a casual fan or a person who hasn't watched cricket before come in and watch a Test match for 5 days straight away and love it. They'll hate it. Current run rate's 5.88, required run rate 11.75 for India, by the way. Good luck, man. They can do it, but good luck. You need sort of Kumar to go crazy here. You're not going to see someone from America, for example, come in and say, I'm going to go watch 5 days of a Test cricket match between South Africa and Australia. Or let's go USA versus Australia, right? You wouldn't want to watch that if you're an American. But the point is that they would not watch that. But if it was a T20 match between USA and India or USA and Australia, they'd watch that for 3 hours because it's like baseball to them. And then you go from that to ODI to Test cricket. But for us traditional cricket watchers, we've grown up with cricket. We can watch that 5-day test. We love it. We understand it. We appreciate it. And we really do, get behind it and think that that's the best format because there's every single part of the game is encapsulated by like strategy and skill and patience and stamina and shit talk and mentality and just every single thing across 5 days. It's amazing, and you get plenty of time to bat and unlimited amount of time, so there's no rush or anything like that, and that's the prime time. And sometimes it's too slow, but the slow is actually a bit, there's just so much that goes into it, man. It's so much more interesting. But T20 is still fun for the short period that it's on. Yeah, required run rate is only 12, yeah. Well, I don't know why Pakistan just received a random shot at Test there, Adviv. Why is Pakistan just received a random shot at Test cricket? Man, India, this has been a really rough game from them. They started off so well. 49 for 4. They started so well on the bowling and then ended up getting 100. There's 139 more runs from 70 balls needed. Lungi and Geedy, 5 runs through 1.2. That's going to be straight up to the boundary, but there'll be a man there. Probably just a single. Yeah, good fielding. Jason, must have been a real test back in the day when there was unlimited days and 8-ball overs. Yeah, again, we've said this before. There was a test between Australia and England back in like the 20s, 1910s or the 1920s. It must have been the 20s after the World War. And the game went for 10 days, and the only reason that test had to be abandoned as a draw was because Australia had to get back on the boat to come back to Australia. I could be wrong. It could be England going back to the boat to England. No, I feel like it was Australia had to get back on the boat to come back to Australia. They would have missed their boat, so that's why they had to stop the rest of the game. This was like in the 1920s or something like that. So for people who don't know, Test cricket used to be unlimited. They're off to war. Was it? Oh, was it off to war? Was it? So maybe it was the 1910s then, or was it the 1940s? Jay was around in these times. He would know. Seven says when Indians get angry, they take it out on their neighbours. Don't worry, Pakistanis did the same thing. Pakistan and India, they did the same thing, man. So was it the 1910s, the 1940s, Jay? I knew it definitely happened, but I didn't know because it was war. I thought it was because they didn't want to, or they couldn't miss their boat back home. Lungi and Gertie, 3 runs off the over with a dot ball. 5th ball, and that is a, well, it should have been a wide, but he does connect with it, so it will be a dot ball. Once again, very good bowling. I'm impressed. It has been good bowling here. 50 runs through 8.5. Just can you believe it? Okay, I put this question back out to everybody. Have you still got India to win the World Cup? Or do you think South Africa can pull over the line here? Or do you still fancy maybe New Zealand turn it around? Can Pakistan frustrate everybody? Will they ban someone from the competition and allow Australia to come back in to embarrass ourselves again? You never know. You know, maybe they do say to India, well, you didn't bat well enough here, so we're going to bring back Australia because, you know, you never know. I reckon that's the way to go. I reckon you know what? If I was the ICC right now, this is from a neutral, unbiased perspective. If I was the ICC, and I think Seb will agree with me here, I would say, listen, England, we're going to have to let you go. You can go home. We're going to bring Australia back in, and we're going to give them that win against Sri Lanka from today. That's what I would do. Not for any reason per se, just because you could, just because you wanted to, and because you know the world and society would prefer that rather than having to watch England play. So that's what I would personally do. Hopefully the ICC takes that advice. Oh, he's gone. Sunil Kumar Yadav is gone. This game's over. 51 for 5. That's a big catch, and Yadav is gone. There's no way India don't get 100. Come on. There's no way India don't get 100. There is no way that India do not get 100. It is 51 for 5 with 9.1 overs gone. There's no way. There's no way. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. Host choking all around. Well played, Safish. Says, yeah, no, you got to respect the South Africans here. They've absolutely earned this. They have earned every single part of this. This is going to be a spectacular performance here from the Saffers. Surya Kumar Yadav, he needed to be their guy, and he's fallen away. Blade's still pundy to come, but it really is looking bleak. Bro, they're down to 13 required run rate. It's already a 13 required run rate, and they're 5 wickets down. It's 5 wickets down. Pakistan versus South Africa final. Okay, well, let's not get silly now. Let's not get silly and just wipe India out because of one game. However, this game has been coming. This result has been coming. They should have lost to the USA. They did dominate Pakistan, but that's a mentality thing. And then they had moments of struggle against Namibia, and they had definite moments of struggle against the Netherlands. This has been coming. It has been. They have to care about net run rate now. I don't think they can win. I agree. Dot ball. They do. Again, I do think they beat West Indies and Zimbabwe, but wow, this is a shock. This is a massive shock. Imagine if India had to play Australia next straight sets could have been gone. Wow. Well, yeah, because the next game for India is Zimbabwe, I think, which would then have meant that it would have been Australia. It would have been against their bogey team as the team to stay inside their own competition and their own World Cup. That's a wide. GRS says it's over. Bowled them out for less than 100. It will put them under massive pressure even against the likes of Zimbabwe with net run rate. You're right. It will put them under a ridiculous amount of pressure. And they're not good under pressure, the Indians. At 20 for 3 for South Africa, we thought this game was over and Markram made the biggest blunder of his career. We did. Yeah, put your head up and say you did. We all did. Yeah, Ahmedabad just simply can't enjoy an Indian World Cup win. Well, if India didn't make the final, it wouldn't be in Ahmedabad. It'd be in Upper Madasad Stadium in Sri Lanka. That'll be a single here. Look at how lazy India are on the runs there. They're actually going to get 2, but look how lazy they were on the runs. 5 for 50 off 10 speaks volumes. It does. Bit like Salman Aliaga bowling first over, but that's Pakistan. Pakistan, for mine, they're just too inconsistent to get into that final. But they do have a really good team that should be final worthy, but they're too inconsistent for it. Dot ball. Don't forget, we'll be live West Indies versus Zimbabwe tomorrow. No sense of urgency if they've given up. It's what you need to do in India. If you break the spirit of the crowd and they don't have the crowd cheering on behind them, they lose confidence in themselves. They lose confidence in their cricketing ability. They lose confidence in the team, and you do them over. Travis Head and Australia proved this in 2023. They know this. That's why they despise it so much. That's why they're so desperate to get their revenge over us, because they know we expose that to the world. You take it away. You take those fans away. You go in, you show up, and you just take that energy out of the crowd. You win the game. You dominate the game. Look what South Africa have done here. India had the crowd. They had the atmosphere. They really just went bang. Then they restricted the crowd with some good sixes, some good fours, and really pumped through that middle portion where India have struggled in this tournament. That 7 to 14 period has been a massive struggle for India in this tournament. So they need to really work on this going into their next games. India does have a pretty clear outline in regards to how to beat them. That's going to be 4 runs here. No, it's going to be amazing fielding from South Africa, and that'll be 2 runs. So since they need 130 odd in 10 overs, why aren't they throwing haymakers? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't see to get to 100 at this rate. No, they didn't fix their net run rate. They didn't get more than 100. They can't have their net run rate hurt, because if they will obviously lose this game. If they've got an awful net run rate, well, South Africa have obviously got their win, and then they've got Zimbabwe and West Indies. You would surely assume they win both those games, but if not, then India would have to win against Zimbabwe and West Indies, and by a big margin, because Zimbabwe, West Indies, one of those two teams will get a win tomorrow. South Africa were 84 for 3. Yeah. 84 for 3. Up in the air, up in the air, up in the air, up in the air. It's going to be a 6. Wow, just past the boundary there. Well, you need it, Hardik Pandya. You do need it. That'll be a 6 off of Maharaj. Yeah, about time. I think fielding is also when India made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, but South Africa were pretty clean hitters, man. Like, David Brevis and David Miller both cleared the boundary a lot. I wouldn't even necessarily say it was the fielding. It was just... This is a batter's pitch that just hasn't really shaped up to be a batter's pitch a lot of the game, but I think South Africa knew something was up for this second innings because there's no way otherwise you choose to bat first. There's no real reason that South Africa bat first off of the eye test here, and there's no real reason that South Africa decide to bat first based off of any historical value or any form value and whatnot. But they've played here all throughout this tournament so far, so they know this pitch, and obviously they've got it right here, very much so. That'll be a single for Dubé. Singles are like dot balls right now. Mate, honestly, 2s are dot balls at this point. Unless they switch the rain machine on for tomorrow. That's even worse for India. That's even worse. You don't want to see that rain machine because South Africa would be pretty much guaranteed at that point. That's going to be a dot ball. No, I don't think India would want the old rain machine. It's going to be a wide, actually. I don't think they'd want that. It's the same thing with like India and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka will hate that New Zealand and Pakistan both got a point. 5th bowl for Maharaj. Okay. Hardik will stand back. 10.3 overs gone. Hit that thumbs up button to subscribe. South Africa looking at goods for the win at the moment. That's going to be a single. This is going to really creep out into the minds of Indians. 6.28 in the current run rate, 12.96 on the required. They need to double it, man. I feel like Windies could beat South Africa, though. It's a good group. It's a good group. I don't think that the Windies beat South Africa. I don't think so. That'll be a single. A team that is such a spicy underdog in this Group A is Zimbabwe. They are a good team. People just don't know it because they don't watch them. They haven't actually watched Zimbabwe enough to have an idea of what Zimbabwe is. They do have a good team. Dubai used the rain machine once and it dumped like 3 years worth of rain in a week. That's going to be a single. No, just a dot ball. I would love to see Zim get up tomorrow. And it's not a disrespectful thing to the West Indies. I just love to see them get up, man. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game tomorrow. I do want to stream, like, it's not a preference, it's not like a big thing, but I would like to stream some Zimbabwe bilaterals. I will do some Zimbabwe bilaterals. It's just when there's no, like, big games on for the big teams, as in, like, your Australias, your Englands, your Indias, your Pakistans, and your South Africas. Zimbabwe have the belief, and that's a lethal weapon. They do. Musa Barani, Ngarava, Sikandar Raza, Brian Bennett. Big bumpers. And there's that other guy. Who's the other bowler? Oh no, I just exited out of my stream. I gotta go back onto the stream just as I was trying to get the bowler. I've exited out of my cricket stream here. Oh, I gotta get that back up. Give me one moment here. And then I'm gonna go find that. Who's the other bowler who killed it against Oman and had a really good World Cup? I should never refer to Oman because their cricket was just diabolical, man. Their cricket in this tournament was just diabolical. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting this cricket stream back up because as I was going, I exited out of it. Forgive me, it's 11:30 and I've streamed 3 games today of sport, 2 cricket games and 1 rugby league game. There we go. Okay, we're back. Okay, Zimbabwe cricket. Zimbabwe cricket tomorrow. West Indies. Who is it? Not Ryan Burl. He's good though. Brad Evans. He's a good bowler. Brad Evans is a good bowler. Yeah, good team, man. Hopefully they can fire up. Muscat's is good as well. Next bowl. That will be punched on the ground for a double. Who's the least talked about team in the Super 8s, you think? Least talked about team? So you're not talking about underrated, you're talking about least talked about team? Probably West Indies. Probably would be West Indies. People are talking about Zimbabwe because they're apparently a huge shock. I'd say it's the West Indies. They're not talking about them as like this massive underdog getting through, even though, yeah, I know they've. Oh, it's a good shot there from Dubé. You'll get a boundary. Don't start, Brendan. Pays and respects to their mother, the elders of the T20. They're not the elders of the T20, but they have a fantastic history. It has to be West Indies. Has to be. That's a good shot from Dubé. Shatish, I ask you, how, actually, and this goes for all Indians here who are watching, how are you feeling with your team? That's it. No, it's dropped just before the fielder. How are you fielding with your team for the rest of this tournament? Are you as an Indian still as confident about your team as you were before this match? Or are you as an Indian still confident about your team that you have been throughout this tournament? Prior to the tournament. And how much do you reckon Australia would have won by if we played you? We are a bogey team. We could have done it, but I'm not being serious. Last ball the over from Abada, and that'll be a dot ball. It's just not happening. 113 runs from 48 balls. It's not happening. Sam says, I don't get Hardik. He's trying to dab it down a third man for a single when the required run rate is 14 over. I honestly think they're just thinking about the net run rate right now, man. What's the point of going full tong and getting out and being slaughtered on the net run rate? What's the point of doing that? Because you just know you're not coming back from 113 with 48 balls to go. You're not doing it. Especially not with 5 wickets down. Or 7. How much wickets are they down today now? High scores. Samara for New Zealand with from Canada, yeah. Yeah, I reckon it's damage control right now, 7 for sure. 113 for 48 balls. 5 wickets down. There's no way it's not damage control. Net run rate will be a very important thing for India now for the rest of this tournament. It's a massive thing for India in this Super 8s. Oh, jumbo Punjabi style samosas. Get me a Punjabi style samosa. Samosa. That makes me hungry looking at that. Current 6.25, required 14.30. 76 for 5 through 12.1. Dude, I want to go to India to get my Lalmas again. That's all I want to go back for. I just want to fly in, get my Lalmas and fly out. That'll be a single. Gerard says, India not just staring at a defeat, they're staring at a crushing defeat. They lose big, then they have to hope South Africa also beat both Zimbabwe and West Indies, otherwise then winning their own. Well, they definitely have to win both their games against Zimbabwe and West Indies, that's for sure, to get their 4 points. But you're right, because if West Indies... Let's go and assume... I'm going to go back in Zimbabwe for a bit of fun. Let's go and say Zimbabwe get a win against the West Indies. That's 2 points there. And then let's also say that Zimbabwe then go and beat South Africa. But with that being said, South Africa can't lose one of their games, but yeah, the net run rate's going to be the play there. But then let's say, Zimbabwe go and win against South Africa. Zimbabwe might go to the top of the group at that point. They actually could. They actually genuinely could. If Zimbabwe found a way to win tomorrow and then were able to beat South Africa, they actually could go through this group on top. That would be the wildest thing I've ever seen. That would be the wildest thing. Go Zimbabwe. Up the Zims. Go Zimbabwe. That's another single. Marco Janssen just giving up singles right now. There is no one who could convince me that this is not damage control. They are 100% on damage control here, the South Africans. Not South Africa. You're not on damage control. You're in party mode. India is on complete and utter damage control. Complete and utter. And if you are South African, and we did actually make some merchandise for you guys on Redbubble. All the links to all the different teams in the description below. That's the India one over there for the do not talk during power play, but there is a South African one. I can't remember what I had for South Africa. Actually, I want to go back and have a quick look. I think it was no easy runs. Yeah, I think we did no easy runs. Where is it? Yeah, no easy runs. I like that logo. Nice and sharp. But that's the link in the description. All right, 12.5 overs gone, 80 for 5, or 108 more runs from 43 bowls. And that's going to be a single. Are they going to put the 2 in? No, they'll just get a single. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs off the over. 6 runs. What's a reasonable total you guys think India will get? I'm going to say I'll go with a 137. I'm going to still give them some credit, and they're still going to get a few runs. So I'm going to go 137. Yeah, so South Africa have had a fantastic tournament. They've had Ahmedabad against Canada, Ahmedabad against Afghanistan, Ahmedabad against New Zealand, and Ahmedabad against UAE, Ahmedabad against India, and then they play against West Indies at Ahmedabad, and then New Delhi is where they play Zimbabwe. So they've only got to travel one time. Sean says 100. No, I don't think they're going to get 5 wickets in the next 19. How many more runs do they need for 100? They're at 81. They'll get 19 runs without losing 5 wickets. Yeah, I was thinking 145, 146, and I went down to 137 dark, but 150 is still entirely possible. I can't see anything above that, though. I still think that's too much, man. Like, I know there's 7 overs to go here, but they're not pushing the pace at all. Michael says, India's having wickets for the last 5 overs in the attempt, big hitting. I don't think they are, though. What I think they're doing right now, their required run rate's 15.51. It's not happening, man. I think they're just trying to sort this net run rate out. I think this is damage control. Because it's 15.51 of the required run rate. Getting through the next 1.5 overs with just a couple of singles and dot balls and whatnot and not getting out is going to do you no good in regards to the big hitting. You're going to be situated about 20 runs and over at that point. You will need about 20 runs and over at that point if this keeps going like that. They're just in damage control, mate. They're just trying to make sure that they don't have to worry about too much. If they can get to 137, 140, 150, if they can get to 150, they'll really take that considering it was only the 186. But still, the net run rate will hurt. They're not thinking about going big. They're just thinking about controlling this. That'll be a single here for Dubé. He'll be on 17. Dubé seems like he's trying, though. Well, sure, this has been amazing bowling from South Africa. It has been really good. But 17 from 16 is what Dubé's on, and Hardik's on 16 from 14. So pretty similar strike rate, just above the hunch. 83 for 5 through 13.3. Look, Saffers, if Australia's not going to win it, go and do it for us. Go and do it for us, Saffers. If we're not going to win it, because we're going to have the selection process of an absolute 3-year-old from George Bailey, go to Saffers. 13.4 down. Ngidi, 10 runs, 2.4 overs bowled. He's been really good. Hasn't picked up a wicket, but an economy right now of about 3.5, just over 3.5. Just under 3.5, sorry. Very good. 104 runs from 38 balls. Usually I say, guys, you need to be at 50 runs required with 30 balls to go. It's currently 103 from 37. Yeah, now it's past 16 and over required. What a win, South Africa, man. Good on ya. If anyone didn't watch the start of this game, we had everyone thinking this game was well and truly done and South Africa were going to get embarrassed. If you were here at the start of the stream, you'd know what I'm talking about here. I even had my doubts, and I was saying, why did you bat first? But very intelligent from South Africa in the end. Do you blame them for leaving early? I don't blame them for leaving early, but I think it's dog shit support. I think that if you're going to go to a game, you planned. This is always my thought process at the end of the over. My thoughts are, you've gone to that game with the expectations that your team is going to win. If your team is winning, you stay there to the end of the game. You leave with the crowd at the end. I respect parents who are leaving early because their kids are crying and need to go home kind of deal. Regardless of the result, I respect that. But if you are not a parent and you're just trying to beat the traffic, you're a shit fan. If you are leaving before a game finishes because the team's not going well enough, in my opinion, you're a shit fan. Support your team through the thick and the thin. Support your team when they're bad. Support the team when they're good. What's the point of celebrating India winning the T20 World Cup if that was to happen, if you left with 10 minutes to go? No, not 10 minutes. You left with 5 overs to go of a game that they look like they were going to lose against South Africa. Because what you remember, and I've had teams that have been shit that have won and been successful, right? Not Titans yet. But what I will remember when the Titans are successful one day is the moments that I did stay back when we lost 40-0 to the Brisbane Broncos or 54-0 at home to the Brisbane Broncos. I will remember all the hard times, which will make that so happy for me. That is what makes me happy. Because I knew I sat through those tough times. Anyone who leaves the stadium early, you don't deserve that success in my personal opinion. I just don't believe it. Because you didn't stick through it with the tough times. Does anyone disagree with me? Lily Angel says, is there a South Africa player that you think should have been included in this T20 World Cup squad? To be completely honest with you, I don't know an undeniable amount, unbelievable amount about the depth of the South African T20. This is why I've really enjoyed watching this T20 World Cup, because I'm getting a lot more of an understanding about other teams that I wouldn't have had a full-grown grasp of in the T20. If you're talking test, if you're talking one-dayers, I would have had a better idea. So I'm probably not the best person to ask for this, but ask the South Africans in the chat what their thoughts would be. 100% win or lose, you stick. You have to, because otherwise, that's why when I see someone who's just jumping on a team for their success, and they're like a Melbourne Storm fan, and if you're from India and you support Australia, or if you just randomly jump on Manchester City with no backing and no reason besides they're good, winning it doesn't actually mean anything, because you haven't been there through when we lost 8-1 to Middlesbrough. You haven't been there when we lost 3-1 to Darwin County. You haven't been there when all this, like, you need it. Just for me, you need to suffer to understand. It's a bit of a bit of self-hate there, but I will appreciate when my team is good. From the fact, that's up in the air, that's up in the air, that's up in the air. He's gone, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. Hardik Pandya is out on 18. It's 86 for 6. See you later. Tigers and Knights fans are so little in the NRL. Okay, well, I'll just go screw myself to Raz as a Titans fan. Hello? Hello? That is a wicket of Hardik Pandya at 18. And 86 for 6. This game is well and truly done. Damage control, India. Damage control net run rate. Brent says, fair call, Sean. Use an eye patch. Or Sean says, if you get hit in the eye, maybe 6 foot away. What are you talking about? I've never left a ping pong show early. Real fan. Yeah, you're a big fan of the Thailand ping pong show, aren't you, Brenton? Massive fan, mate. Well done. You must be real proud of yourself. 14.1 overs down, 86 for 6. You'd probably stay longer for a Thailand ping pong show than you would a Newcastle Knights game. That's for sure. Oh, India. What happened here? India. So your next game, hold on, I'm just going to confirm, what day is it? Zimbabwe on Thursday. That is such a big game. If Zimbabwe beat West Indies tomorrow, do you understand how big that Zimbabwe-India game is on Thursday? I will be live for it. There's not a single Super 8 game I'll miss, guys. The semi-finals and final. Jeez, that game will be massive. 150 feels like a win at this point. Tell the English fans this. Seb Watson, he'll love that. The English fans will love that. Up in the air, up in the air, up in the air, up in the air. He's gone. Rinku's gone for a duck. That's a golden duck. Rinku Singh is gone on a golden duck, and this is a nightmare for India, man. 86 for 7. This is an absolute nightmare. This is a shit show right now. But I've never, yeah. Sure, Brenton, I know you like going Thailand. But that is turning into an absolute nightmare for India. That's another wicket. That is another wicket. Yeah, I don't know if they get under 100, Sean, but it's not going to be much more than that. 3 wickets to go here. This net run rate is just going to be poor. May as well declare India. Do us all a favour, Jay says. Not sure they're going to be declaring, mate. Not sure they're going to be declaring. But Paddy Cummins doesn't play for India, so maybe there's your shout there. Maybe there's your chance. I'm going to have to scroll this down. I'm going to have to scroll this scorecard down. Wow. As if they didn't have enough pressure on them. How do they keep their heads up here? You know who has to be under the most pressure right now for India? It is Abhishek Sharma. And you know what's going to be really hard to see? Varun Chakravarti is going to cop the most criticism from this game, and yet he has been unbelievable for them in this tournament. He has been really good, but he gave up a ridiculous amount of runs here today, which wasn't a spin bowler's pitch for sure. It was obviously a pace bowling pitch. That's why you saw Bumrah absolutely kill it. But then again, Maharaj has got a couple of wickets here, and you did see Markram get... It's weird. Like the first innings was all the paces. The second innings has really been heavy on the spin bowlers. Let's go have a look at the wickets we've seen from South Africa at the moment. I feel like they're all basically spin. Oh, Marco Jansen was pace, and he got 2 wickets. Markram got 1, Corbin Bosch with 2, Maharaj with 2. Overall, like, Spin's done well here. Spin didn't do well in that first one. First innings. But this all, you have to really, if you're South African, you have to really appreciate that knock from Devil Brevis and David Miller. Without those 2 guys, oh, that should be out. That should be out. He's gone. Yep. Maharaj has got 3. Maharaj has got 3. Arshdeep Singh is gone. It's 88 for 8. Well, Sean, you might be right here, mate. You might be right, because India is just putting this one away. India, they want to go home. They want to jump back into their 5-star hotel room, and they want to just forget about this one, because this is a nightmare. Maharaj with 3 wickets in the over, 3 for 24. And they are done, and they are dusted. They may get done for under 100. India, if you get done for under 100 in this game, there is no way that you should be winning this World Cup. There is no way you should be winning this World Cup. Don't get down for under 100. No World Cup winning team should lose by not getting 100 in a game. Sue me. Brenton says, send Zams out for a handshake. Call it quits. Net run rate has fizzled. It's gone. At least lose with dignity. Yes, sir, but you can just tell that because they can't win, now they just don't care. There's no damage control. There's nothing. It's just, how long? They won't make 100. It's not looking likely now, Jay. Shawnee might be onto it with the under 100. So, Kagiso Rabada will cover a bowl, and that should be a 6 here. Wow. Dubé gets that 94. 6 runs to get to the 100. Now I think they get there. That's a huge shot there from Dubé to get that 6. 528 tournament 6s. If you are an Indian fan still watching this game, good on you. A lot of people wouldn't be. A lot of people would have left that stadium early. A lot of people would have turned the TV off, and a lot of people definitely wouldn't be watching me as you're saying it, because it'd be hard, because I am being a lot more positive towards South Africa for sure. Of course I'm going to be. GRS as well. The Zimbabwean game will be a very interesting watch, even if India just get above 100. Yeah. No matter what, that's a very interesting watch. That is going to be another 6 here for Dubé, and they will get to 100. So 100 for 8 with 15.2 overs gone. Yeah, where was this before, Serpent? Exactly right. So they do get to the 100. 2 wickets to spare. Harrison jumped on the India bandwagon and cooked him. That makes sense. Leave Satish alone, Jay. Leave him alone. He's in pain right now. He's just lucky Seb Watson's not here, and he's lucky that Kraken's not here to get into him. Because I'm sure that Satish should be watching. Let me have a look. Yeah, no, he's still watching. He's still here. Next ball, and that is going to be punched out to the boundary for just a single. Just stop. No, you're not doing nothing. What you're doing is you're baiting him. You're baiting him to come and comment so that you guys can get into a little punch on. Don't do it. Rambada has been awful form just quietly. Overall, I see him as a test bowler, not a T20 bowler. He needs to learn banter. The thing is, Jay, he's trying to learn it. It's just that his reaction today has been very similar to how my reaction was for Australia, right? It's been a nightmare day for Satish, where he talks about England, and if you give it, you got to take it, and he definitely took it. But then the worst part is that not only did he have to take it for that England versus Sri Lanka game, but then he went into a game where he was very confident. Everyone would have been confident that India was going to beat South Africa, right? And then India have lost it in excruciating fashion. Like, you can't really blame him for his reaction today. If it was another day, yeah, sure. But this is a tough one for Indians to watch. That's up in the air. This should be out here. And it's a dropped catch. David Miller will drop the catch there. Mate, you need to get those catches with the net run rate. You do. A dropped catch there from Miller. You can't complain about him anyway. He's holding on to a Geoff Archer pillow right now, or Chatish, poor bloke. That's what he said on one of his first streams. I want to learn banter. He's trying. He is. You can tell with his banter. Yeah, bad drop there. You can tell with his banter that he is trying, but it's just not fully grasped from yet. But again, when you're getting into the banter, my best advice is, unless you know what you're doing, don't take on a whole country. Just take on one person. Don't take on the whole country of England in this chat. And damn well, you better come to play if you're taking on Australia. If you're taking on Australia in banter, you better come to play in this chat. Because we've got plenty of people in the chat. You've also got me. Now, that's an interesting one. He didn't come for Australia, because I know he knows better than that. Is there a culture barrier? I do think there is a culture barrier between India and Australia and England and whatnot in regards to the way that we do it all. With that being said, though, like, there's nothing to say that he couldn't learn and people couldn't learn and whatnot. But it takes it. This channel is not always for the faint of heart. Like, we obviously talk a bit of cricket. We enjoy the sport. We do banter and whatnot when our teams are playing. I'm just glad that I don't have to deal with the emotions of riding through this last... I'm disappointed in Australia, but I'm glad that I don't have to sit here and go through the down emotions on stream. I'm actually glad in a way. I'm sad, but I'm glad as well. So 4 overs remaining here. Corbin Bosch, he's 2 from 11. Bit of pace bowl from Corbin Bosch. So what, 5 of the 8 wickets have come from pace bowlers. No, sorry. 5 of the wickets have come from spin, I think. $87 from 23. At least make it less than 50. So 23 balls left. And that's going to be smashed out of the boundary, but there'll be a man there. Single. South Africa, this whole game's just going through the motions, guys. It just comes down to, do India get bowled out, or do they get through it? That's realistically it. I'm not looking at their runs anymore. I'm just seeing if they do get out of it without going down. You know, go down at least with a little bit of a fight. How quiet is that stadium, man? Single. And look how many empty seats there are. Cats. All of you have left early, you cats. You're soft. Good on you to whoever stayed in that stadium. They really love this shot when they're showing the broadcast. They really, really love this shot of the river here in Ahmedabad and the bridge. They really love it. Every single time they show the same shot. Next ball. Straight up to the bowler. And this is 4 dot balls. Hey, Jay, just gone past the half maiden. The half maiden on point. ICC posted on Insta. No, what did they post? What have the ICC posted on Insta? What have they posted? Oh, okay. I want to see what. No strong partnership from India today. You reckon? Hardik Pandya is always overconfident. I know South Africa is taking revenge of the 2024 final, but I can't prove that. Mate, they're not taking revenge because of the 2024 final. They're just playing to try and win this tournament, man. I'm thinking about that as if they're going to be thinking about that. This match proves why experience matters, what Rohit and Kohli were, and without them you are what in big and ICC tournaments. Relax after one game. To be fair though, the experience is a very key factor here. After 2023 World Cup, India lost its first match in cricket history of World Cup 2026. What? Where did 2023 ODI World Cup come into that? Oh, soon a miss. Start the car. Car started, Jay. 1 run off the over. India team cross rivalry aside. No, it's not like this is a rivalry matchup. So not many more overs to go here. South Africa exposing batting line of India. What a game of cricket it is. Well, it's not like they have. USA did, really. Realistically, USA exposed the batting lineup. Let me have a look at that Tottenham Arsenal score. And 0-0. Come on, Tottenham. Go Tottenham. Big dogs. Tottenham could get relegated if they lose. That'll be a double. Yes, sir, for double. But I do need to set up tomorrow's stream for West Indies and Zimbabwe. I need to set that stream up, so I'll watch that game whilst I set up that stream. Well, this has been a very interesting game. It hasn't been an extremely exciting nail-biter like we were expected, but it's been a very interesting game. And whilst it's an upset, it's not like a hugely surprising upset. That will just go for a single here. Oh, bad feeling. Might be 2. They will. $84 from 16. I don't think they're going to get 34 runs in 16 balls, but that's what I'd be aiming for right now, just to only lose by 50. Only. 16 balls left. What do you guys think will be the reaction from this? Do you think it's going to be a complete overreaction from India, or do you think they're going to take it in their stride? I feel like you're going to see a massive overreaction. Marcus is coming to Gunners. Oh, good luck, man. Oh, I'm going to have to refresh my cricket stream here. Yeah, I feel like India are going to have a complete overreaction to this, and they're just going to blow up. blow up deluxe. I mean, they're out. They're not out yet. If this was to go out, they'd be breaking TVs. I reckon they might be even. Man, I reckon they wouldn't surprise me to be doing it anyway. Like, they're not out yet, and I doubt they do go out. I do think they stick in here in this Super 8 regardless. It's just a lot more interesting now. However, knowing how passionate they are about cricket, I wouldn't be surprised if the overreaction is really to just blow up the entire team and, cancel the tournament. That'll be a single. Social media is going to hammer them. They're going to hammer them. But as an Australian, it would be very, very nice for India to get knocked out of the Super 8s because then that would take all of the slander off of Australia. That would take it all off of us and it would give it all to them. Stop encouraging him. Stop trying to bait him. Stop baiting him. I know what you guys are doing. Stop baiting him. 105 for 8 with 2.1 overs to go. I'll admit I said I don't watch England to hate watch, but I really am hate watching India, though, Taraz says. Yikes. I just want everyone to stop talking about Australia's, even though it's deserved. I want them to stop talking about the frustrating tournament we've had. And considering all the hate that Indians gave us for us getting knocked out, it would be quite funny. But I'm not hate watching by any means. It's just that if South Africa get knocked out, right, it's not going to have the same visceral reaction as Australia getting knocked out. And the same thing goes for the Kiwis. England getting knocked out would get a pretty visceral reaction, but it's not at the Australian level. The only thing that could beat out Australia's reaction to getting knocked out in the group stages is India getting knocked out in the Super 8s. It would be monumentally large. It would be large. Next ball. Up in the air, and that is going to be a 6, I think. It just makes it there. It would be nice for New Zealand to win something. It would be nice for New Zealand to win something, Serpent. I wouldn't mind Saffers, New Zealand, Zimbabwe. Sri Lanka aren't doing anything. Just don't give it to the English, because the dribble in this chat would just be painful, man. The dribble from people like Jacko and Tatted and even Carl would get under you know. Chris Hendry would come back out of the woodwork. I think we all think India will beat Zimbabwe, Michael, but it's an interesting matchup. It is, because Zimbabwe have been good. They've got good bowlers, Zimbabwe. And their batters can bat. And India, the pressure's going to be on, especially if Zimbabwe beat the West Indies. Actually, to be fair, it doesn't really. Well, yeah, because if Zimbabwe lose tomorrow, then India won't. Oh, hold on, that's going to be a single here for Dubé. If Zimbabwe lose tomorrow, they're effectively done. You would expect. So I feel like India will be super confident of a bounce back, and then they just go through and they put a score past West Indies for mine if they do that. But if Zimbabwe win tomorrow, then I feel like the pressure will really be on them. I mean, a game against a team that's already won compared to them. That'll be knocked in behind. That's a wicket. Dubé is gone on 42. Marco Jansen picks up his third wicket. And Lungi Agedi will pick up the catch. That is a wicket, and it is 111 for 9. 1 wicket to go. There's only 8 balls remaining. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think India get all out? Do you think they will at least hold this final wicket stand for the last 8 balls? Can they get through this final stand? Zimbabwe could genuinely win, but I'll tip Wendy's. You know, I'm going to back in a bit of fun, a bit of Zimbabwe. I'm going to back in a little bit of Zimbabwe here, a little bit of Zimbabwe there. A little bit of Zimbabwe everywhere. I'm backing them in. Would people in Cairns be talking about Zimbabwe winning the T20 World Cup? People in Cairns wouldn't even be talking about Australia winning the T20 World Cup. What do you mean Zimbabwe? They wouldn't even be talking about Australia winning the T20 World Cup, mate. That's going to be another wicket here. That's gone. They're all out. Bumrah out. And that is all out for 111. Enjoy your net run rate, India. That is not good. Jansen will pick up 4 wickets. What a performance from South Africa. They win by a whopping 76 runs. The South Africans will win by 76 runs over India in Ahmedabad. What a performance, man. Guys, we're going to jump off here for today. Oh, it's 1-1 in the other game. We're going to jump off here for today. We will see you tomorrow for the West Indies versus 3.8 net run rate win. West Indies versus Zimbabwe. We'll be live for that one. So do me a favour, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as per usual, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.